This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
Coming up from Yankee Stadium, the Yankees and Indians, a win by the Yankees, and they are once again the American League champions. Right now, this is Pat Summerall inviting you to stay tuned for Yankee baseball.
This is WCBS and WCBS-FM, New York.
And right now, as we're ready to go, the next to the last day of the season, our national anthem. Pre-game festivities at the stadium today, Yogi Berra was presented the National Sports Award by the National Conference of Christians and Jews. So that ceremony has been concluded on the field. Downing warming up, getting ready to face Chico Simone, the first baseman and the leadoff batter. Al Downing has a record of 13-8 on the year. He's 1-0 against the Indians. 4-0 lifetime against Cleveland. He's never lost to this ball club. Howard catching, Pepitone at first, Richardson at second, Linz at short, Boyer at third. In the outfield and left, it's Tresh, Maris in center, Mantle in right. Now the throw to Bobby Richardson at second. And we're ready to go. Chico Simone stepping in, the leadoff batter. Simone batting at .305. He has 4 home runs, 24 RBIs. This can be the big one for the Yankees today. They can wrap it up with a victory this afternoon against the Indians. All right, Al Downing into the windup. The first pitch is low, and it's ball 1. A 1-0 the count to Simone. Downing ready again. The pitch is outside. 2-0 the count. An absolutely clear, cloudless day here at Yankee Stadium. The shadow is about 10 feet past the home plate area, heading toward the third base side, and cuts in between the batter and the pitcher. Now the pitch again is in there, and it's strike 1. This makes it hard for the hitter at this point. He's looking into a bright background, sort of like you're in a tunnel looking out into the bright of the day. Now the 2-1 pitch is outside, 3-1. Today is the kind of a day where the famous Yankee field, the Yankee left field, runs into a lot of problems. Here's a 3-1 pitch. It's a strike call, 3-2. It's on days like this that the left fielder has most of the trouble that he may run into as far as the brightness is concerned and the sun problem. First batter of the ball game, the 3-2 pitch to Simone is a drive to right field. Mantle breaking back toward the barrier, gets under it and takes it. 1 away. Ball was not hit too far. Mantle had to run about 30 feet for it. Now here's Dick Hauser, the shortstop, who's batting at .252. Hauser with 3 home runs, 51 RBIs. Hauser leads the... No, he doesn't. I was going to say he leads the Indians in stolen bases. He has 20. Davalillo has 21. The 1-0 pitch is low, and it's ball 1 to Dick Hauser. Now the next pitch by Downing is in there, 1-1. Ed Kranepool has homered in the third inning for the Mets with 2 on, so it's now an 8-4 ball game in St. Louis. The 1-1 pitch is high. 2 balls and a strike. Boy, they've had it out there. The Mets have scored in every inning. 4 in the first, 1 in the second, now 3 in the third. They lead 8-4. Still batting in the top of the third. Now the 2-1 pitch to Hauser is low. 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. One out, nobody on. Just getting underway here, top of the first. Indians and the Yankees. Downing, ready again. The 3-1 pitch is in there, and it's strike 2. So Downing runs the count to 3-2 on the second batter. Dick Hauser, right-hand batter. 3-2 pitch is outside, and he walked him. Hauser draws a base on balls. So the first base runner of this ball game goes down to first, and that'll bring up Leon Wagner, the left fielder. Wagner, the big power man for the Indians, has 31 homers, 99 RBIs, 1 short of the magic 100 mark in the RBI department. He's batting at .257. Downing sets. The pitch to Wag is strike right in there. Old Daddy Wags, as they call him. He was acquired from the Los Angeles Angels. A good trade for the Indians. Joe Adcock and Barry Latman went to the Angels for Wagner. Here's the 1-strike pitch. It's swung on and missed. Strike 2. 0-2. 1 out. Hauser at first base. Top of the first inning. The Yankees have this one and 1 more tomorrow. And that's all there is for the 1964 pennant race. And the Yankees can wrap it up by winning one of these 2 games, or by having Chicago lose one of their 2 with the Kansas City A's. All right, Downing sets. The 2-strike pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. A blazing fastball around the letters. So Downing strikes out his first batter. Downing, with the exception of Jack Chesborough of the Yankees, going way back, has struck out more batters than any other Yankee pitcher. He's got 212 right now. Jack Chesborough struck out 240. There's a hopper over Downing's head. Linz to his left, up with it, flips to Richardson in time for the force. So Alvis hit a high hopper over Downing's head to Linz, forcing Hauser at second, and the side is retired. After a half inning of play, the Indians nothing, the Yankees coming to the plate.
What's all this about tigers? Well, it all started when research people of Humble Oil and Refining Company found out how to put a tiger in SO Extra gasoline. Of course, they call it the new power formula. But between you and me, it's a tiger. New power formula SO Extra lets you take off like a cat. Keeps your engine purring smooth because it keeps it running clean. Actually cleans the carburetor, helps restore lost power. New cars stay new longer. Older cars can get a new lease on life with new power formula SO Extra from Humble Oil and Refining Company. So ask your SO dealer to uncage that tiger for you. Just say, fill her up with SO Extra. Happy motoring.
Last half of the first inning, it'll be Phil Linz leading off for the Yankees. Linz batting at .247, 5 homers, 24 RBIs. Mets lead the Cardinals 8-4 after 2.5. St. Louis batting in the bottom of the third. We'll keep you posted on that ball game. It's a big one. Cincinnati and the Phillies are idle today. Now the pitch to Linz. It's in there. Strike one. Lee Stange, the right-hander. Stange has a record of 7-13 this year. Acquired from the Twins for Jim Mudcat Grant. Curveball, it's low. It's 1-1. Johnny Romano doing the catching. Chico Simone at first, Billy Moran at second, Dick Hauser at short, Max Alvis at third. In the outfield and left, it's Leon Wagner, Vic Davalillo in center, Woody Held in right. Lee Stange on the mound. He's into the windup. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Phil. Fouled past Frank Crissetti down the third base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jimmy Gleason coaching at first for the Yankees, Frank Crissetti at third. Beautiful day. Gee, it is a picture day here for baseball. About 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. The 1-2 pitch to Phil is hit into right center. That ball's going to be in there. Davalillo, nice backhanded stop. Lynn's going for second, and he's in there. Bill Lynn getting things underway with a double to right center. So the first batter to face Lee Stange gets on. Now that'll bring up Bobby Richardson. Davalillo had a little trouble breaking after he caught the ball, and Lynn, sensing this, took off for second base and slid in well ahead of the throw. All right, here's Richardson batting at .265, 4 homers, 49 RBIs. Bobby has been one of the Yankees who has been doing extremely well the last 6 weeks during their surge, and he bunts one toward first. Stange has it, starts to go to third, changes his mind, and he's safe at first base as Chico Simone was off the bag. Bobby Richardson, with a burst of speed, got there ahead of Simone, although Simone had the ball, but just didn't get his foot on the bag in time. He had to look to see where it was. Now this can be excusable because Simone is normally an infielder by trade at second and short, and he's played some outfield. He's not too used to first base. Richardson is being credited with a base hit. So Bobby gets a hit, infield single. Linz is at third, nobody out. Roger Maris the batter. Maris batting at .282. Swings and misses at a big curveball, strike one. Simone had that ball and had to reach for that bag and couldn't find it. Then by the time he looked and picked it up, Bobby had scampered across. That could be a big play. Stange ready again. He sets. Pitches. It's low in the dirt this time. 1-1. Phil Linz with a leadoff double is now at third. Bobby Richardson with an infield single at first base. Last of the first inning, no score. Stange gets a sign, checks the runners. The pitch is outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Max Alvis playing very shallow for Maris at third base. Stange sets. The pitch to Roger is in the dirt and gets by Romano, but only by about 3 feet. Linz couldn't come in, so it's 3-1. Lee Stange falling behind Roger Maris to count 3 balls, 1 strike with Mantle on deck. Stange gets a sign from Romano. Richardson off first, Linz off third. The pitch to Maris is a half swing that's called ball 4. Johnny Rice said that Roger didn't go around, so the bases are loaded, and here comes Mantle. Mickey Mantle batting from the left side. He's hitting at .303, 35 home runs, 108 RBIs. Nobody out. Lynn's at third. Richardson at second. Maris at first. Oh, the Yankees forcing the opportunities here. The runners are leading off. Stange into the windup. The pitch to Mantle is swung on and missed, and it's strike one. Lee Stange firing a fastball on the inside corner, right around the letters to Mantle. Now the pitch to Mantle is popped up down the left field line. Digging for it is Leon Wagner. That ball drops in there for a ground rule double. Mickey Mantle hitting a high pop fly down the left field line, landing about 5 feet fair and spinning off into the stands. Scores Phil Linz and Bobby Richardson, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead. And that is RBI number 109 and 110 for Mickey Mantle. Mickey having a great year with the RBIs. Still nobody out. Elston Howard, the fifth batter for the Yankees, coming to the plate. Maris at third, Mantle at second. Ted Abernathy is warming up for the Indians in the bullpen. Lee Stange, and they're going to put Howard on and load him up to pitch to Joe Pepitone, and that's an unusual thing. Howard, a right-hand batter, facing the right-handed Lee Stange. They're going to pitch to the left-handed hitting Joe Pepitone. Howard leads the Yankees in batting with .312. And last night, with the bases loaded and the Indians leading 2-0, Howard doubled down the left field line to tie the score. So Bertie Tevis decides he's had enough of Mr. Howard. He's going to try for Joe Pepitone. Ellie, it's 3-0 now. He's batting at .312 with 15 homers, 81 RBIs. And ball four, and Howard is intentionally passed, and still there's nobody out with the bases loaded. Joe Pepitone, the sixth Yankee to come to the plate. He's hitting at .249. 28 home runs, 99 RBIs, and here's a spot. How much better can it be to come up with that 100th RBI? Bases loaded, nobody out. The first pitch to Pepe is high, and it's ball one. A fly ball, a base on balls, or a base hit, and Joe's got his 100th RBI. All right, the 1-0 pitch to Pepe. Swings and misses, strike one, 1-1. Lee Stange, through the first 5 batters, walked 2, gave up 3 hits. He's allowed 2 runs. Yankees lead 2-0. Last of the first inning. Stange ready again. The runner's leading off. The pitch to Pepitone is popped up into the infield, and it's an automatic out. The infield fly rule is called, and Pepitone is out of there. The runners hold. That one was caught by the second baseman, Billy Moran. So there's one out. Now here's Tommy Tresh batting left-handed. Tresh batting at .249, 16 home runs and 73 RBIs. Tom got the big 3-run homer that gave the Yankees the ball game last night. It was 2-2 tie when he hit it. The Yankees got all their runs in the third to win the game. First pitch is high to Tresh. It's ball one. Maris at third, Mantle at second, Howard at first. 2 runs in. Stange into the windup. The pitch to Tresh is just outside, 2-0. So Stange has now fallen behind Tresh. He's got to come in there. Bases are loaded, 1 away. Stange into the windup again. The runners lead off. The pitch to Tresh is fouled off. Strike one. 2 balls and a strike to Tommy. Sign on the board, the American League standings. The Yankees, percentage of .613. The White Sox, a percentage of .600. And the Orioles, who are out of it, have a percentage of .596. The magic number is 1. Pitch to Tresh is popped up into short left field. Digging over is the shortstop, edge of the grass, takes it, and there are 2 out. So, with the bases loaded and nobody out of here, Lee Stange has muscled up. He has forced Pepitone to pop up, and now Tommy Tresh, and that'll bring up Clete Boyer. Boyer hitting at .216, 8 homers, 51 RBIs. 2 out, bags loaded. Yanks lead 2-0. This is the 8th Yankee batter as Stange goes into the windup. The pitch to Clete, in there, strike one. After 3 full innings, the Mets lead the Cardinals 8-4. They're playing in St. Louis. Stange ready again. The 1-strike pitch to Boyer, swung on a miss, strike 2. Tigers lead the Orioles 2-1 after 1. They're playing in Baltimore. Boyer, digging in there, has that straightaway stance. Chokes up about 1.5 inches on the end of the bat. Okay, Stange ready. The 2-strike pitch to Boyer. A high fly ball going back into short right center. Billy Moran backing up for it, gets under it and takes it. So Lee Stange really bore down there to get Pepitone, Tresh, and Boyer. The side is retired. The Yankees came up with 2 runs on 3 hits. And the score after 1 inning of play, the Yanks 2 and the Indians nothing. Well, let's see if there's anything else happening on the scoreboard between the Mets and the Cardinals. Nope. It's still an 8-4 ball game after 3. We mentioned the Tigers lead the Orioles 2-1 after 1. Don't forget, tomorrow, the final game of the season will be getting underway at 1:30. This will be your last chance to take a look at the 1964 Yankees in action at the stadium. During regular season play, I should say. Right now, as we've been mentioning, the Yankees, with the magic number at 1, need only 1 victory or 1 White Sox loss to wrap up the flag. The Yankees were in good spirits before they came into the ball game. A host of them were huddled around the TV set watching the Mets and the Cardinals out in St. Louis before the game got underway. Not too much preference among the players as to who should they get in, or would they like to play, Cincinnati or St. Louis? Don't forget, the Philadelphia Phillies are not out of it yet. They still have an outside chance. And the Giants. So there are 4 teams in the National League, Giants, Phillies, Cincinnati, and St. Louis, who are still in contention, and this is the next to the last day of the season. Last night, the Orioles were eliminated, and now it's between the White Sox and the Yanks. Now here's John Romano, the catcher. Takes a strike in there from Al Downing. Yankees leading 2-0. Downing with a lifetime mark of 26-14. Into the windup, the pitch to Romano. Check swing foul. Strike 2. Joe Askew caught the game for the Indians last night. Today is Johnny Romano. Romano batting at .244, 19 homers, 47 RBIs. Swings and misses, and it's strike 3. Al Downing continues to strike him out. That's his 2nd strikeout on this ball game, and number 213 on the year. Now here's Woody Held, the right fielder, coming on. Held batting at .238. He's got 18 home runs and 49 RBIs. 1 out, nobody on. The pitch by Downing to Held is fouled back. Strike 1. Right now, Al Downing and Camilo Pascual are tied for the home run lead in the American League with strikeouts, right? What? Home run? Wow, well, let's start over again. What day is it? 1-1 the count to Woody Held. I'll get to that one in a moment. Held takes outside from Downing, 2-1. Pascual and Downing are tied for the strikeout lead with 213 apiece. That'd be quite a year if you hit 213 homers. They'd retire you. All right, the 2-1 pitch to Woody Held. Check swing, bouncer down the third base side, foul to Salahimas in the coaching box. Elmer Velo coaching at first for the Indians. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Downing ready again. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a curveball. It's high, and it's 3-2. So Downing has run the count to 3-2. That's the third batter in this ball game. He's done it too. Here's the payoff pitch. It's strike 3, a swinging strike. And that is strikeout number 3 for Al Downing. 214 on the season, and he now officially takes over the American League lead for strikeouts. Here's Vic Davalillo, small center fielder. Davalillo batting at .272, 6 homers, 51 RBIs. Takes a strike in there, a breaking ball. Davalillo leads the Indians in stolen bases with 21. Downing ready again, swung on and missed, and it's strike 2. From here, it looks as though the batters are really having trouble picking up Downing's fastball. That ball's on them as they start to go at it. All right, the 2-strike pitch to Davalillo. He fouls this one into the upper deck down the left side, and it's 0-2. The count holds. Red Sox lead the Senators 1-0 after 1. Downing delivers to Davalillo, and what is it? Ball. 1-2 the count. John Rice did not make a move. Howard dropped the ball and dashed out to tag Davalillo. And we thought it might have been a called third strike with Howard dropping the ball, but that was not the case. All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. Yanks lead 2-0, top of the second. Downing ready again. The pitch to Davalillo. A hopper right back to Downing. He takes it. Over to Pepitone to retire the side. So it's 3 up and 3 down for the Indians. The score, after 1.5, the Yankees 2, the Indians 0.
Talk about high octane. Talk about smooth, clean performance. You're talking about new Power Formula SO Extra gasoline from Humble Oil and Refining Company. Puts a tiger in your tank. Yes, the Humble scientists have caged up a tiger in new Power Formula SO Extra. This is the gasoline that actually helps restore lost power. It keeps your engine purring smooth because it keeps it running clean. Actually cleans the carburetor, neutralizes harmful engine deposits, gives your car a new lease on life. So see your SO dealer today and let him uncage that tiger for you. Just say, fill her up with SO Extra. Puts a tiger in your tank. Happy motoring.
Let's pause right now for station identification.
Hear a doubleheader on Music of Broadway tomorrow morning, starting at 9:15 here on WCBS and WCBS-FM, New York.
Well, as Al Downing comes to the plate, we've got our first football score. This could be a big upset in the making. Holy Cross leads Syracuse 8-0, and Syracuse was favored by 24. So, Here's Al Downing, though, bottom of the second inning. Batting from the right side to face Lee Stange. He takes a strike right in there. Yankees are leading 2-0. Mets failed to score in the top of the fourth. They lead the Cardinals 8-4 with St. Louis batting in the bottom of the fourth. Downing hits a pitch into center field, a base hit. He caught that one right on the end of the bat. Lined it, not too hard, into dead center field. So Downing is on with a base hit to lead off the bottom of the second. That's the fourth hit given up by Lee Stange. Now here's Phil Linz, who started the ball game with a double to right center. Later scored. Ted Abernathy is up again for the Indians as Stange sets, checks Downing. The pitch to Linz. He bunts it behind the plate. It bounces back over Romano's head. Strike one. Yogi with a 2-0 lead wants to move another man into scoring position. Nice to be able to pick up a run an inning. That happened this year, and it's unusual. Some team in the National League, I've forgotten, got a run in every inning. Phil bunts this one up in the air, way back on the screen. That one came back and hit the screen. No chance for Romano to get to it. It's 0-2. Army plays last year's #1 team, Texas, tonight, and Navy plays Michigan. So the two service academies from the East got a lot of football on their hands today. All right, here's a 2-strike pitch to Linz. It's outside. Ball 1-1-2. Linz was swinging away. Now he takes a look at Frank Crissetti to see whether or not he wants him to bunt him all the way. Yankees leading by 2. Not much likelihood that he will. Downing leading off first. Stange sets. The pitch to Linz. A ground ball to the shortstop. Hauser up with it. Flips to second for one. Throw to first. Not in time as Linz put on a burst of speed to beat the relay by Billy Moran. Downing forced at second. Linz stays alive at first on the fielders or on the force play, and that'll bring up Bobby Richardson. Richardson had an infield single in the first inning and later scored. 1 out. Phil Linz at first base. Last of the second. Stange gets the sign from Johnny Romano. Phil takes the lead. The pitch to Bobby's a curve that doesn't make the inside corner, and it's ball 1. Throw over to first base, and Linz is back. Lee Stange, acquired from the Twins for Jim Mudcat Grant. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Bobby. Strike called, 1-1. We've got quite an interesting setup coming along in the National League. If the Giants should win today and St. Louis lose, 4 teams in the National League will be separated by 1 game. Bobby takes a strike right in there, 1-2. How do you like that? The Giants and the Phillies would be 1 out. St. Louis and Cincinnati tied for the lead. Whew. And it ends tomorrow. Of course, that's supposition right now. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Richardson. Drops one into left center, digging for Wagner. Can't get it. Linz around second holds as Wagner fires the ball into Max Albus. Bobby just stuck out his bat and dropped one. It was like a chip shot, really. Looping it over the shortstop's head into left center. So that's Bobby's second hit. The Yankees have runners at first and second, and here's Roger Maris, who walked in the first inning. That's the 5th hit off Stange. Stange has been in trouble in both innings. Pitched to 8 batters in the first, gave up 2 runs. Now he's got runners at first and second with 1 out. Maris the batter, Mantle on deck. Outfield plays Maris deep and to pull. Infield shaded to the right side. Roger fouls this one back on the screen, and it's strike 1. Stange gets a sign. He sets. Checks the runners. The pitch to Maris is way inside. It's 1-1. Well, from August 22nd, the Yankees hitched up their britches and took off. And right now, they're 1 victory away from the 1964 pennant. A real team effort in the last 6.5 weeks. Pitch to Maris, swung on and missed. Strike 2, 1-2. Got kind of a bubbly crowd out here today. Sort of a soft murmur. Things moving right along. Feel the excitement. All right, Stange ready. The 1-2 pitch to Roger is swung on and missed, and it's strike 3. Lee Stange striking out Roger Maris for the 2nd out in this inning. That's his first strikeout of the ball game, and that'll bring up Mickey Mantle. Mantle, with an opposite field double in the first, has driven in the only 2 runs for the Yankees thus far. They lead 2-0. Linz at second, Richardson at first. 2 of the fastest Yankees on the base as Mantle takes low and inside, ball 1. Mickey with 110 RBIs on the year, batting at .305. Two out, runners leading off again. Stange, a double look at Linz at second, pitches to Mantle, a high hopper to the mound. Stange has it, flips in time to Simone, and the Yankees are out of there. No runs on 2 hits, and the score after 2 full innings of play, the Yankees 2 and the Indians nothing.
Camel time. It's camel time. Camel time.
It's pleasure time for you.
Camel time is any time when nothing less will do.
Things all seem to brighten up.
Every time you light one up. Right now make it camel time. Have a Camel cigarette.
The best tobacco makes the best smoke. Camel gives you easygoing taste, honest enjoyment, choice quality tobaccos. The exclusive Camel blend of costly tobaccos has never been equaled. The best tobacco makes the best smoke.
Right now make it camel time. Have a Camel cigarette.
Here's Billy Moran, the second baseman for the Indians, leading off here in the top of the 3rd, with the Yankees leading 2-0. Al Downing in there all the way for the Yankees. Lee Stange for the Indians. Billy Moran, right-hand batter. He was acquired from the Los Angeles Angels earlier this year. First pitch is a strike right in there. Downing, with that good fastball, has been giving the Indian batters a lot of trouble. Got that shadow about at the mound right now. There's a curveball. It's down, 1-1. We mention this because it is a factor. Pitchers with good stuff can give batters a lot of trouble here with the shadows as they are right now. They're about at the mound, halfway between home and third. 2 balls and a strike. Al Downing into the windup. The 2-1 pitch is low, and it's 3-1. In St. Louis with the Cardinals batting. In the last of the fourth, they've got the bases loaded and 2 out. Mets lead 8-4 right now. They are really having a Donnybrook out there. All right, the 3-1 pitch to Moran. It's strike 2. Full count to Billy Moran. Al Downing, 13-8 on the year. Gets a sign from Ellie Howard into the windup. The pitch is just outside, and he walked him. So that's the second walk given up by Downing. Lee Stange is the scheduled batter, and is he going to come up? Yep. Yanks lead the Indians 2-0. They've got 5 hits, the Indians, hitless at this point. We're in the top of the third. All right, Downing sets the pitch to Stang. A beautiful bunt out by the mound. Downing has to go to first base. Oh, almost threw it away. Ooh. Bobby Richardson had to jump as high as he could go to come up with that one. A beautiful sacrifice by Stang. Downing throwing a high one to Bobby. Richardson came up with it. On the play, Moran goes to second. Now this will bring up Chico Simone, the leadoff batter, who flied to right field in the first. Downing with the sign. Moran leading off second. The pitch to Simone, a hopper. Lins to his left, can't get it. And here comes Moran around third base, and it's a 2-1 ball game. And there was a strange bounce on that ball. That ball was going at a bounding point where Lins was going to catch up with it. And at the last bounce, before Lins could field it, it kicked back toward the right field side and went straight into center. So Simone gets himself a base hit and an RBI, and it's now the Yankees 2 and the Indians 1. We were directly behind the plate, and we could see that ball take that odd kick away from Lins's glove. Here's Hauser, takes a strike right in there. Simone at first base. Chico, a fast man, got himself 10 stolen bases in 84 games. That was the first base hit off Al Downing. And Downing throws over to first base to keep Simone honest. Downing has developed a pretty good move with the help of Whitey Ford, who's got them all. All right, the 1-strike pitch is hit hard to left field. That ball's in there. Tresh gets it on the first hop. Simone digging for third, and he is out of there. The plate umpire made the call as Larry Knapp was behind the play. He was down the line, and coming out from the plate was John Rice. Rice was about 30 feet from the play and called it at a distance, but he had the good look at it, and Bertie Tebbetts is out talking to John Rice. So that's a big break for the Yankees. Now they've got 2 outs with a runner at second instead of 1 out and runners at second and third. That ball went from Tresh to Lins to Boyer. They're giving Hauser credit for a double. Simone out on the relay from Tresh to Lins to Boyer. 7-6-5. Hauser is at second base with 2 out. That's the second hit off Downing. 2-1 ball game. Yankees lead. Now here is Leon Wagner, who struck out in the first. Swings at the first pitch, and he tried to stop but couldn't. Strike 1 to Wagner. Well, the Cardinals failed to score. Parsons came on in relief and retired the Cardinals there with the bases loaded and 2 out, so it's still 8-4 after 4. Wagner, a hopper to Pepitone at first. He's got it. Races to the bag, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits. No Yankee errors. 1 man left. The score after 2.5. Yanks 2 and the Indians 1.
Valentine beer, Valentine beer.
You wrap your hand around an icy cold glass of it.
Valentine beer, Valentine beer.
You taste it, crisp, clean, refreshing.
Valentine beer, Valentine beer.
Won't fill you up, won't let you down.
You get a smile every time with a Valentine. Won't fill you up, won't let you down.
The crisp, clean taste of a Valentine
won't fill you up, won't let you down. So get a smile every time with a Valentine. Won't fill you up, won't let you down. Wow, what a beer, that Valentine.
Okay, here comes Ellie Howard, and we've got a change from the official score. Dick Hauser is now credited with a single and not a double, as we originally announced. All right, Howard, who was passed intentionally in the first inning, comes to the plate. Lee Stange into the windup. The pitch to Ellie is low, and it's ball 1. Yankees 2, the Indians 1. We're in the last of the third. Howard batting at .312. Stange ready again. The pitch to Ellie. Shot up the middle. Base hit. Line drive right past the shoulder of Lee Stange. So the Yankees get the leadoff batter on again for the 3rd inning in a row. The first, Lynn's doubled. In the second, Downing single to lead it off. And now here's Ellie Howard in the bottom of the 3rd with a single to center. That is hit number 6 off Stange, and that'll bring up Joe Pepitone, who popped to the second baseman in the first inning. Dick Donovan and Ted Abernathy warming up for the Indians. Stange sets. The pitch to Pepitone is swung on and missed, and it's strike 1. There's one thing about Lee Stange. He has put in a long day right now, and we're only in the bottom of the 3rd. 8 men in the first inning. 5 in the second, and the leadoff batter on here in the 3rd. Stange delivers. The ball gets by the catcher, Johnny Romano. Down to second is Howard. The big sweep around second, but he holds. Wild pitch is charged to Lee Stange. So with nobody out, Howard is now at second base. A 1-1 count to Pepitone. Yankees 2, Indians 1, last of the 3rd. After 3, Detroit 2 and the Orioles 2. They're playing in Baltimore. Now Stange sets. The pitch to Pepitone fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kansas City and Chicago, playing at Chicago, are scoreless after 1. O'Donohue and Horland. John O'Donohue, the left-hander, and Joel Horland, the right-hander, are opposing each other in that Kansas City-Chicago game. All right, Stange sets. The 1-2 pitch to Pepitone. Up the middle. Nice stop by Hauser, but he can't throw anybody out. That ball went right through Stange's legs. Hauser, darting behind second base, caught the ball and then fell down. And that'll go as a base hit for Pepitone. So the Yankees have 2 men on and 0 out. Howard stayed at second base. That'll bring up Tommy Tresh. All right, Tom Tresh popped to the shortstop in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Yankees with runners at first and second. Stange sets this time. The pitch to Tresh is swung on and missed, and it's strike 1. Well, Charlie Smith has homered for the Mets in the top of the fifth, and now it's 9-4 at least, with the Mets batting in the top of the fifth inning. Stang ready. The pitch to Tom is low in the dirt, 1-1. Nice block by John Romano. The way that situation is developing in St. Louis, the Mets will have to become the most unpopular team of all time as far as the Cardinals are concerned. Beat them last night 1-0 in a thriller. They lead 9-4 in the fifth inning today. Stang sets a 1-1 pitch to Tresh. It swung on and missed, and it's strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boyer on deck, nobody out. Howard at second, Pepitone at first. Yankees leading 2-1. We're in the bottom of the third. Stang stretches, checks Howard at second. The pitch to Tommy is foul down the left field side, out of play. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Final game of the season tomorrow between these two ball clubs here at the stadium. Game time 1:30. That'll wrap up the 1964 pennant race. All right, Stang gets a sign from Romano. The pitch on the way to Tresh is outside, a high fastball, 2-2. Stang once again. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Tresh, just outside a full count. Well, the Cardinals in the fifth inning have already used 5 pitchers. The Mets have used 4, and it looks like a battle for manpower right now. Whoever has the most men at the end will win. A big ball game for the Cardinals. Boy, that could change the entire complexion of this National League race. Payoff pitch, the runners are going. There's a drive to straightaway center. Davalillo, plenty of room, and he can move his back. He gets it. Howard goes back to tag up and will go on to third base. That ball was hit 410 feet in dead center field. Howard and Pepitone were going on the pitch, and then Howard stopped and went all the way back and tagged and then moved over to third. So Tresh, the long fly to center, he's out of there. There's one away. Howard is at third, Pepitone at first. The batter is Cleet Boyer. Yankees leading 2-1. Last of the third inning. And now Romano is out to talk to Lee Stange. Stang is pitching one of those games. He's been in hot water in every inning. Yeah, the base is loaded. In the first inning, Mantle doubled. Then they walked Howard. He had him loaded again with nobody out all through this. And finally, he got Pepitone, Tresh, and Boyer on pop-ups to retire the side. But he was in a jam then. He gave up only 2 runs. Pitched to 5 batters in the second inning. You got runners at first and third with 1 out here in the third. Boyer the batter. Stang gets the sign. He sets. The pitch is a ground ball to third into left field. Base hit. Howard in to score. Pepitone stops at second, and it's a 3-1 ball game. We thought Max Alvis might have had a shot at that ball, but it just tipped his glove and sneaked into left field. So Boyer gets credit for a single and an RBI, and the Yankees lead 3-1, and that'll bring up Al Downing. Downing had a leadoff single in the second inning. That is hit number 8 off Stang. Yanks 3, Indians 1, bottom of the third, 1 out. Pepitone at second, Boyer at first. They're looking for the sacrifice, but Downing swings, and it's strike 1. Alvis was creeping in, Simone at first, playing way in. So Downing took a swipe at the ball. Now let's see what happens this time. Indian infield still playing shallow, looking for a possible bunt. Downing swings at this one, and it's strike 2. 0-2 the count. Now Al takes a look at Frank Crissetti. Steps back in the box. Stange sets the 2-strike pitch. Strike 3 call. Hit that outside corner. That is strikeout number 2 for Stange. Now to bring up Phil Linz, who doubled in the first inning, bounced to short in the second. He's 1 for 2. Linz scored a run in the first. Two out, runners at first and second. Lee Stange, fairly compact right-hander on the mound for the Indians, delivers, and Phil swings and misses, and it's strike 1. Kansas City failed to score on the top of the second. Chicago batting in the bottom of the second. No score in that ball game. Linz fouls this one off, and it is 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to Phil Linz. Bobby Richardson on deck. Well, with the Cardinals batting in the bottom of the 5th, the Mets came up with 1 in the top of the 5th. It's the Mets 9 and the Cardinals 4. Charlie Smith hit a home run in the 5th inning to give the Mets another one. All right, Pepitone off second, Boyer off first. Stange sets a 2-strike pitch to Linz, and that ball was thrown over Linz's head, past the catcher, and hit the bat stop on a fly. That had to be one of the best wild pitches you'll ever see. That ball was 2.5 feet over Linz's head, and really got away from Lee Stange. It hit the backstop, which is 75 to 80 feet behind home plate, on a fly. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, and the runners move up. Pepitone goes to third, Boyer to second. That was rather startling because of how far off the target it was. Now we're ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That one, a letter-high fastball. That takes care of the Yankees, but not before they came up with 1 run on 3 hits. And the score, after 3 full innings of play, it's the Yankees 3 and the Indians 1.
The next portion of this ball game will be brought to you by the makers of Camel cigarettes. Camel gives you easygoing taste, honest enjoyment, choice quality tobaccos. The best tobacco makes the best smoke. Make it Camel time, right now.
Okay, as we get ready for the 4th inning with the Yankees leading 3-1, here's the old redhead, Red Barber, to take you along for a while.
Now, Jerry, just what have you told them so I won't repeat?
Well, I've tried to tell them just about everything. I've stayed on top of that National League action and, of course, the action in Chicago with the Kansas City A's and the White Sox going at it. So we've tried to keep them abreast of the 2 pennant races. We did mention one thing that's startling. If the Mets win and the Giants win, 4 teams will be separated by 1 game going into the final game tomorrow in the National League.
Do you think there's any chance of a 4-way playoff?
No, not there, because Cincinnati and Philadelphia, somebody's got to fall. They play each other.
All right, Jerry. Well, we got a mighty pretty day for this big ball game here at the big ballpark. Al Downing, for the 2nd time, has a 2-run lead. He is ready to pitch now in the 4th inning to Max Alvis, the 3rd baseman, hitting number 4, and Tebbett's batting order, then Romano, and then Held. Young left-hander going after his 14th win. This is the 3rd time he's tried for it. He's 1-0 over Cleveland this year. He's never lost to him in his short career. He is 4-0 lifetime. His first pitch is over to Alvis for a called strike. Max hit into a force at second base in the 1st inning. 3-1 in favor of the Yankees. If they can win it, it's all theirs. Change of pace, grounded foul between third base and the coaches, Salihimus. Kicking down into the left field corner where Tresh has to run it down. Ball even kicked past him. 2 strikes. We'll really get the wheels turning today. We're going to be busy from now on. Here, the football scores coming in. End of the quarter, Purdue 7, Notre Dame nothing. Pitch is low for a ball. At the end of the quarter, Northwestern and Illinois, no score. Detroit has just come up with 4 runs down at Baltimore. 1-2 pitch, high outside ball 2. Baltimore's problem is a hope to take second place from the White Sox. They were eliminated by the Yankees' win last evening. It is Detroit 6 and Baltimore 2 into 3.5, and they got Pappas out of there. Strike 3, low curveball. And Al Downing strikes out his 4th. He's the top man in the league in strikeouts. He has 215 to Pasquale's 213. And Downing may wind up as the strikeout leader this year in the American League because Pasquale pitched Thursday, and I would think that he wouldn't be pitching anymore this season. Now we have Romano, who struck out in the second inning. I mean, you have to watch Pasquale's arm, for one thing. And he likes his full complement of rest, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In other words, it's not like they're fighting for a pennant or something. Bring him back on 2 days' rest. End of 3 innings, it is Boston 1, Washington nothing, and the new manager, Billy Herman, is running the Red Sox. He has a 2-year contract. This is his second shot at managing. He waited 17 years for it. A curveball in there. Strike 2, 1-2. Romano, right-handed batter, across the river. Herman, right after he finished his active career as a player, managed the Pirates for a season. And he said in his interview at Boston yesterday that he was young then, inexperienced, but he's been learning about his mistakes for the waiting 17 years. Strike 3, swinging on a curveball. So Downing now strikes out the first 2 in the 4th inning, holding his 3-1 lead. 5 for the day, 216 for the season. Pete Ward just hit a home run for the White Sox, and they lead 1-0 at the end of 2 innings in their battle with Kansas City. O'Donohue for the A's and Horland for the White Sox. L.A. at Minnesota later. The Mets are really making life miserable. Got a run in the 5th inning, and they're leading now 9-4. Woody Hell fouls the pitch back, and it is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith of the Mets hit that home run in the 5th. Altman hit one in the 2nd. Cranepole with 2 on hit one in the 3rd. White and Boyer have hit home runs for the Cardinals. Changeup is over for strike 2. In the Mets-St. Louis game, Fisher began for New York. Rybert in the 2nd and Parsons in the 4th. Sadecki, who had won 20, began for St. Louis. Craig in the 2nd inning, Richardson in the 3rd, Humphries in the 4th. Strike 3, swinging. And Mr. Downing just simply sets down the side, strikes it out. That's all there was to that. 3 Ks in the book, and for the Yankees, driving to nail it down themselves. At the end of 3.5, New York 3 and Cleveland 1.
While the teams exchange positions on the field, let's take time out and declare it time for a Camel, the best tasting cigarette of them all. Yes, sir, the exclusive Camel blend of costly tobaccos has never been equaled. Camel gives you easygoing taste, honest enjoyment, choice quality tobaccos. The best tobacco makes the best smoke. So make it Camel time for you. Camel time is any time when nothing less than a Camel will do. So light up, lean back, and smile. Things all seem to brighten up every time you light one up. Discover what we mean when we say Camel time is pleasure time. Make it Camel time right now.
Right now, make it Camel time. Have a Camel cigarette.
Well, at this juncture, we will pause for station identification.
You're a Broadway doubleheader during Music of Broadway, starting tomorrow morning at 9:15 here on WCBS and WCBS-FM, New York.
Lee Stange makes his first pitch a high let-up to Bobby Richardson as we move into the last of the fourth inning. Stange, a right-hander, has won 7-13 this season. He was dealt after the curtain lifted, you know, from the Twins to the Indians. Foul back. Boom. Right over there, and Jerry Coleman's bailiwick. He moved over there on TV. Richardson hits the ground ball to short. Hauser over to first to Simone, and Richardson is out. Bobby had gone up there 2 for 2. Now we have one out, last of the fourth. Yankees leading 3-1. Here is Maris, who has walked and fanned. Led defensive well around and to right. Crissetti coaching at third, Jimmy Gleason at first. Roger hits a ground ball slowly to the pitcher, who runs over to first base. He intercepted the ball halfway between the mound and first base. Maris is out. 2 down, and here is Mantle, who knocked in 2 runs with an opposite field double in the first inning. The base is loaded. Lynn's open with a double to right center. Richardson beat out a bunt for a base hit. Actually, he didn't beat it out so much. I mean, he's hustling all the time, as Simone, who is an inexperienced first baseman, got his feet crossed up. In other words, he tried to do the buck and wing, and he didn't get the wing on it. Mantle cuts at the curve. Strike one. He just missed touching first base with his foot, and Richardson didn't. Then came the walk to Maris to load him, and then came Mantle's double down inside the left field line, ground rules double, and the Yankees got that first 2. In the third inning, a single by Howard, a wild pitch, and a single was a ground foul. By Boyer got the third run in. 2 strikes to Mickey. Mantle, batting in those 2, has kicked his RBIs up to 110, which is a good year's work. Lee Stange pitches inside, close to the hands, ball 1. 3-1, favor New York. The Yankee number is 1. The Yankees themselves eliminated Baltimore last night. They're out to eliminate Chicago today. Pitch is wide, and it is 2-2. At the end of 5 innings, it is still the Mets 9 and the Cardinals 4. Manager Keane isn't holding anybody back except his starting pitcher for tomorrow. Mantle cuts in, strikes out, went after a slider. 4 strikeouts for Stange, nothing across to New York. And at the end of 4, the totals for the Yankees: 3 runs, 8 hits and no errors. For the Indians, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. Now let's give you a little bit more detail on the Battle of the Mets out at St. Louis. Fisher started for New York, Rybert in the second, and Parsons in the fourth, and he's still going. And for the Mets, Altman a home run in the second, Kranepool 1 in the third with 2 on, and Smith 1 in the fifth with nobody on. Sadecki, the 20-game winner for St. Louis, fully rested, went out there. And bang, Roger Craig replaced him in the second, Richardson in the third, Humphries in the fourth, Taylor in the fifth, and Ciela in the sixth. That's what I mean when I say that Keane is holding nobody back. When you get to this stage, you can't hold anybody back. I would say there's only one ball player in the park here at the stadium today who is not going to get in the ball game. And that's Whitey Ford, who pitched last night, and they're counting on him for Wednesday. Otherwise, Yogi would use them all. And, of course, Tebbets has got nobody to hold back. Chicago at San Francisco will be quite late. It's an afternoon game, 3 hours difference in time. It is Detroit 6, Baltimore 2 at the end of 4. End of 3, the Red Sox, under their new manager, Billy Herman, 4. Washington, nothing. End of 2, the White Sox 1, the Athletics, nothing. The first pitchers to move into the 5th inning, Vic Davalillo up, the very small left-hand hitting center fielder. Stands right up on top of the plate, especially the forward foot's fouled off, strike line. A fly ball out to left center field. Maris is going, sunglasses down, he's going, he one-hands it. He's a pretty competent customer out there, you know it? Now we have Billy Moran. Lee Stange gets out on deck. Whether he hits or not remains to be seen. I mean, Tebbets went to his bench early last night. Foul back. Al Downing pitching for the Yankees. He's had a hit today, and that means he's 2 up on Boughton in the battle to see who's going to have the most hits for a Yankee pitcher. There's a looper that Richardson's coming in, makes the catch. 2 out. Put out at second base. Now let's see, is it going to be a pitcher staying? Yes. Sacrifice in the 3rd inning. Boughton will have a chance. He pitches tomorrow. Tomorrow's ball game, which swings down the curtain, is 1:30. Three-one pitch, in there for a strike. That was very interesting last night. White Sox, of course, playing a doubleheader, and nobody here at the stadium knew when the Yankee game was over, they'd won, and the White Sox won the first, what the second game was going to be. In fact, the Athletics even got it tied 4-4, if you recall. They stang up, swings and fouls it, strike 2. So we checked with the writers, and if you think you've got bad hours, the newspaper man had to stay here and wait until the second game in Chicago was over before they could write their story. There's a ground ball down to short. Linz over to Pepitone, and that is the 3rd out. Second straight inning, Downing puts him down in order. The score at the end of 4 1/2, it's an official ball game. The Yankees 3 and the Indians 1.
Camel time. It's camel time, camel time.
It's pleasure time for you.
Camel time is any time when nothing less will do.
Things all seem to brighten up
every time you light one up. Right now make it camel time. Have a Camel cigarette.
The best tobacco makes the best smoke. Camel gives you easygoing taste, honest enjoyment, choice quality tobaccos. The exclusive Camel blend of costly tobaccos has never been equaled. The best tobacco makes the best smoke.
Right now make it camel time. Have a Camel cigarette. Right now make it camel time. Have a Camel cigarette.
Lee Stange is getting all set to pitch to Howard. Elston is 1 for 1 today. He was deliberately walked in the first inning. The Yankees on top 3-1. When Howard singled in the 3rd, he was later brought in for the Yankees' 3rd run, which is a big one. The defense is straight away on Ellie. Pitch is outside, ball one. Here are some of the writers who had to wait until that second game at Chicago was over in the loneliness of the press room here at the stadium. In for a strike. And you know, a lonely place is a major league ballpark with all the lights out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the kitchen is closed. Everything else is closed except the facilities of Western Union and the telephone company. Howard cuts on the curve. Tommy Holmes of the Herald Tribune. You read his story this morning. He got to bed later than you did. Leonard Coppert of the Times, Joe Trimble of the News, Jack Hand of the AP, Tim Moriarty of the UPI, Till Berdenzi of the Journal American, Larry Fox of the World Telegram, Maury Allen of the Post. Howard picks wide, ball two. Bob Curlin of the Beacon Record, Bill Quinn of the Newark News, Jim Ogle of the New York Star Ledger. John Drebinger of the Yankees remained, just to see that everything was quiet and peaceful. Howard strikes out on a curve, strike three. 5 strikeouts for Stange. Also, there were 3 Western Union operators who had to remain down in the press room. So, while you were having that cup of coffee this morning and reading your paper, some fellows had to prop their eyelids up. Now we have Joe Pepitone, 1 for 2. Joe takes a pitch curve in for a strike. Frame around into right, left-handed batter. Swings and grounds it foul back at the first base coach, Jimmy Gleason. Speaking about fellas staying up late last night, from what I heard on the radio this morning, there were some fellas that were getting up at the time these writers were going to bed. Around 3:30. They must have been. Pitch is high inside. Pepitone hung up there a little late, thinking it might be a curve, and it was a fastball, and he had to drop. Well, I'm saying that I heard on the radio before 7 o'clock this morning, a fellow was giving a rundown on the waiting time on the public golf courses around New York City. High outside. And he said, and this is just before 7 o'clock this morning. Now, what I'm doing listening to the radio at 7 o'clock, I don't know. I'm not interested in this pennant race or anything else, but he said anywhere from an hour and a quarter to 2 hours waiting time then. 2-2 pitch, swung on, there's a ground ball down to second. Ran over to first to Simone, and Pepitone is out. And I came to the firm conviction, and I've had it all day long, that if it's 7 o'clock in the morning, fellas were already having to wait 2 hours to play golf. There must be something to the enterprise. Now we've got Tommy Tresh, who is 0 for 2. Yankees leading 3-1. Tresh batting left-handed, takes on the outside, ball one. The Yankees had a chance to get a Croker sack full of runs in the first inning. They had 2 in. Had the bases loaded and nobody out. And then Stange got 3 infield pop-ups. Ground foul back at first base. John Stevens down there. The umpire makes the stop. Ball kicked out. Rice at the plate, Stevens at first, Valentine at second, and Knapp is at third base. High outside. Just think about these umpires in their off-season. Now, Stevens is a top basketball official in the winter, and Larry Knapp used to be a top fight referee. Championship fights at the Garden he did. Foul back, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Into 4.5 innings, it is Detroit 6, Baltimore 2. Into 3.5, Boston 4, Washington nothing. Into 2, Chicago 1-0 over Kansas City, but the A's have been at bat a long time in the 3rd inning. Crush checks on a low inside curve, ball 3. Into 5.5. The Mets 9 and the Cardinals 4. Pirates are going to play later at Milwaukee, Chicago at San Francisco, Houston at LA. Philadelphia at Cincinnati is not scheduled. Strike 3 swinging. He went after the curveball, and Stange set the Yankees down in order for the second straight round. Totals at the end of 5. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for New York. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for Cleveland. Now we move in inning 6, and we have the top of the order, Chico Simon. 1 hit, single to the middle in the 3rd, and that knocked in Cleveland's tally. Downing had walked Moran. Pitcher sacrificed him over, and Simon picked him up. Yankees on top, 3-1. Outside, first pitch, ball 1. The Yankees have beaten the Indians 14 out of 16 games this year. Bertie Tabbett says it's indecent. That's his exact quote. Pitch is high outside, ball 2. I'll say this, that the Cleveland club can blame the Yankees for this year, because every time Cleveland got going, it was the Yankees that killed them. Curve is in. Strike 2. Cleveland was trying to have a very respectable finish. They were playing about the best ball in the league till the Yankees went out there last week and won 4 ball games in 2 nights. Chico Simon, they're trying him at first base now. They've had him at second. They've had him in right field. They know he's got the bat. They know he can run. But where do they play him? Ground ball to third, past Boyer, down the left field line. Simon is on his way to second base. Vallo has sent him. He's coming in easily. Trush throws into third, and it's a double. So you keep hitting like he's been hitting, and they're going to play you someplace. As she's hit number 3 off Downing, Simon has 2 of them. Now we have Hauser, who has the other one. He singled to left in the 3rd. Had there been nobody on base, Hauser would have gotten a double in the 3rd inning. That was the time when Simon was cut down at 3rd, trying to go around there. That was the relay. Tresh to Benz to Boyer. First pitch is in for a strike. Nobody down. Hauser, right-hand hitter, takes over for the strike. Strike 2. Well, look at that. At the end of 5, Detroit and Baltimore are 6-6. Orioles still hoping to do something about second place. This is their last game of the season. They don't play tomorrow. A drive along the right field line is fair, and it's going to get the run in, and Pepitone is kicking now to Stevens, and Stevens is trying to walk away from him. Pepitone is demonstrating rather forcefully where the ball hit, and Stevens, I think, is warning him, saying, you better get away from me. John was saying before the game that in a ball game in which you're playing for the stakes that they're playing for, he would try to be a little bit more patient. But I'd say that Pepitone is trying his patience. Is it a double right on the right field line? As I saw it, it kicked up the white. But Pepitone was trying to claim it hit outside. So we've got the tying run at second base. If you go away, don't go away very far, because this thing ain't over yet. Now it's a 3-2 ball game. A line double right on the line, too, by Hauser to right. This gets Simone in, and we have the tying run at second, and no man retired here in the 6th inning. The batter is Leon Wagner. He pops it up. It's a short fly ball that Tresh, the left fielder, is under. He has. The ball was up pretty high. Now, the run that Howard scored in the 3rd inning is the difference. And Elston is out there now talking to Downing. Yogi has his bullpen going. As we said earlier, the only guy who won't be down there if he needs him is Whitey. He did his job last night, and he really did it. Max Alvis, the 3rd baseman who can hurt you, right-handed batter. Doubles by Simone and Hauser. (3-2) New York. There's a ball hit high back in the left center. Tresh going back. He can't get it. It's over his head for an extra base hit. It's off the scoreboard. Here's the tying run coming in, and Alvis is coming in to 3rd base for a triple. All tied, 3-3. He hit that one, and this gets Yogi out of the dugout. Mickelson and Ramos are in the bullpen. Yogi is marching out to the mound. Pepitone is there at the mound. Howard is there also. Yogi has his arms folded now. He hasn't made a move for the bullpen yet. We don't know whether he will or not. Nope, he's walking away. He's leaving it to Downing. A triple by Alvis and a big one. Tresh went back as far as he could in left center, and the ball simply sailed on past him and bounced off the left center field auxiliary scoreboard. That's a big blow here at this ballpark. Now we have Johnny Romano, who has been up twice and struck out. The Yankees draw the infield in. And they are ruining very much the fact that they didn't harvest the crop that was there in the 1st inning. They had that chance, you might say, to put it away. Wait a minute, now Howard is talking with umpire Rice. Just a moment. Rice is motioning Pepitone to go back to 1st base. Pepitone has started over to the mound. What the umpires are trying to do is get the ball game going. Now wait, here comes Yogi, and apparently the stall was on. And that's what the umpire, now Pepitone says something to Rice, and Rice is warning him. Don't say any more. Yogi apparently wanted a few more pitches in the bullpen. Of course, the umpires are not at all aware of what clubs do at a time like this. You know, it's all a complete surprise to them. Well, Yogi's got to take him out now because he's out there for the 2nd time. He's got the ball. This is all for Downing, and Yogi sends him in, gives him a pat on the backside, and Downing walks away. Okay, Al is out after 5 1/3 innings. The Indians caught up with him in the 6th. No 2 ways about that. A double by Simone, a line double by Hauser, and a big triple by Alvis. Running down to the bullpen for Cleveland is Tiant. I told you that nobody's holding anything back. I mean, Tebbets is simply infuriated at the way this season has gone with the Yankees. Now, this is Louis Tiant, who is just his top pitcher right now, and he's going to the bullpen. Right now, now the Indians have got the ball game even. Tebbett said before the game, he said, people ask me who's my pitcher for tomorrow. He said, look, you tell me what I've got to do today and who I've got to use, and I'll tell you who will pitch tomorrow. Now, he may have had in mind Tiant tomorrow to start, or he may not, but Tiant's going to the bullpen right now. The Yankees had their chance in the first inning when they had 2 runs in and the bases loaded and nobody out. Pepitone hit an infield fly, was automatically out. Tresh hit an infield fly, was automatically out. And Boyer popped to the second baseman. And there went the, should we say, the opportunity. Pete Mickelson has come on, tall right-hander, a rookie. He's had a sound year. 3-3 ball game. Runner at third base, 1 out. Otherwise, Mickelson has nothing to think over. And while he is warming up, we will pause for station identification.
Hear a Broadway doubleheader during Music of Broadway, starting at 9:15 tomorrow morning here on WCBS and WCBS-FM, New York.
Here in the 6th inning, Mickelson will be pitching first of all to John Romano, a boy from across the river over in New Jersey. Then Woody Held. We have the runner at third and a 3-3 ball game. And the Indians are just simply anguished at their fate with the Yankees this year, and they want to do something about it while they still have a chance. You can understand that, aside from the fact that a ball club always wants to win. And we understand that the Mets are really tearing up the peep house down at St. Louis. Casey Stengel has signed his contract for next year, and the way he's going, he may see to it that Johnny Keane doesn't get a chance to sign one. Now, Romano's up. Swings at a sinker. Strike 1. Mickelson on the mound. He's been a busy boy. This is game number 50. He has won 6 and lost 4. He has been strictly a bullpen man. Infield up, runner at third, 1 down. The right-hander pitches low outside, and it is a ball. Mickelson wearing glasses. He throws sidearm, and his ball has a pronounced tendency to sink. Actually, he hurt his arm. He originally was an overhand pitcher. He couldn't throw overhand anymore, had to throw sidearm, and the sinker just came with the new pitching motion. So he regards the injury as a blessing. Outfield straight away, the right-hander delivers, and there's a ground ball, foul, softly to the third base coach, Solly Hemus. Hemus looks at it, throws it out to the mound. Elmer Vallo coaching at first. The drawn-in Yankee infield is Pepitone, and I'll say that Stevens was very patient with him just now. Richardson, Lenz, who is doing magnificently. Kubek hurt. And Boyer, Tresh, Maris, Mantle in the outfield. Howard giving the sign back of the plate. Relief pitcher Mickelson. In position. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, a ground ball to short. Lenz knocks the ball down, recovers, throws over to first. In time to get Romano and holds the runner at third base. The ball bounced up and hit Lenz in the chest. Had there been a swifter runner, he couldn't have made the play. But he did make it on John. We're not trying to disparage his running speed. But nevertheless, there was a situation. And a rather important one. Woody Held went up there, and now I think he's going to be called back for a hitter. This looks like Big Bob Chance. Big, strong, left-handed batter. Chance hitting 279. In the 7th inning, Klaus has hit a home run for the Mets with 2 on. Christopher's hit one in the 7th and nobody on. And the Mets are still going. One of their happiest days in 3 years. Boy, they're moaning just the other side of the Mississippi. Do you remember when St. Louis was referred to as the only major league team west of the Mississippi River? Cincinnati is not playing today. San Francisco playing later. Now here's Bob Chance up there. He's a big rookie left-handed batter. Right on top of the plate. Takes low inside. Ball one. Chance hitting for Hell, who was in right field. So this is an easy switch for Tebbetts if he wants to make it. He can put Chance at first and send first baseman Simone to right. A swing and a miss. Low inside breaking ball. 1-1. We have two men out. The infield is back. The whole defense is around toward right. Top of the sixth inning. Mickelson relieving Downing. Delivers. Outside and low, ball two. Two-one pitch is swung on a curve, strike two. Now, Joe Cooper just made an observation about a Major League ball club in reference to the Mississippi River. He said the Twins, that's Minnesota, so that's the only team on both sides of the Mississippi. And I have to take a little difference, Joe. It's got to be on one side or the other, and the Twins won't admit it. 2-2 pitch, change of pace, strike three swinging, and Mickelson gets out of the jam. He struck him out. And it is 2 runs on 3 hits. It's an even up ball game. The score end of 5.5 with Mickelson making that save. The Indians 3 and the Yankees 3.
Valentine beer, Valentine beer.
It's crisp and clean like no other beer.
Valentine beer, Valentine beer.
Shines through the glass like frosted gold.
Valentine beer, Valentine beer.
Turns your thirst to a smile.
You get a smile every time with a Valentine.
Won't fill you up, won't let you down.
The crisp, clean taste of a Valentine.
Won't fill you up, won't let you down. So get a smile every time with a Valentine. Won't fill you up, won't let you down. Wow, what a beer, that Valentine.
And Tebbetts makes the switch. Chance, who hit for right field to Hell, goes to first base. And Simone, who had started at first, goes to right. It is a 3-3 ball game, and so the Yankees have got to start all over again. That was a big save there by Mickelson, who is now the pitcher of records. His game to win or lose. Downing is off the hook either way. In fact, when he left the mound, he couldn't be the winner. He might have been the loser. We have Boyer, then Mickelson. There's a curveball grounded down to short. Hauser over to first to Chance for the out. 1 pitch, 1 down. Last of the 6th inning. And here is Mickelson coming on to be the batter. Mickelson this year had 1 hit. Lee Stange, who was severely threatened, it looked as though you didn't see how he could survive the first inning. Delivers, and Mickelson cuts, misses, strike 1. He's still with us. He's now even again. One strike on Mickelson, hits right-handed. Stange is a right-hander, kicks, delivers, over, and it is strike 2. Do you know how many runs the Mets made in the 7th inning at St. Louis? Just 6. They're now leading 15-4. Over, ball, strike 3. Little curve, crease the outside corner. This is the 7th strikeout for Stange. Now we have Lenz, who doubled in the 1st inning, hit into a force in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd. In the 4 innings, the White Sox 4 and the Athletics nothing. Curve is over, so the Yankees can look at that board. They can pretty well figure that it's up to themselves. Well, they've been figuring that anyhow. Not news to them. There's a high drive foul in the upper left field stand. See, I think the White Sox, who certainly have had resiliency this year, I think they won their last 7. They're not letting up. They're not only driving for first, but also if they can't get that, they want second. Considerably more money finishing second than third, or in a tie. Whoop! Lenz drops underneath the high inside fastball. Boys, if he needed a save, he got it. Boom. 1-2. Now he gets back up again. Stange pitches, and Lenz fouls it back. And it knocked a lens off of one of our cameras. That's what the fans are hollering about. Well, whoever holds the budget down at WPIX, I bet you had heart failure when they heard that. 1-2 pitch, swung on at a high fly ball into short left. Here is the left fielder, Wagner, and it drops. Lenz is on his way to second base, and he comes in, and he's there for a double. Wagner seemed to have the ball under control. Then he stopped. I think he lost it in the sun. It dropped in front of him, and it's a double for Lenz. Oh, ran it out. Hit number 9 now for the Yankees. 3-3 ball game. Man, things are happening all over the baseball front these days. They had an odd one last night in the ball game at St. Louis. We had a ground ball hit an umpire. Very simple ruling. The ball was dead because the umpire was in front of the infielder. Had the umpire been behind the infield, the ball would have been in play. Richardson swings, and there's a drive foul in the right field corner. 0-1. Of course, under the American League system of umpiring, I don't think that could happen because they keep their umpires back. Second base umpire was inside last night at St. Louis. Richardson, the ground ball to third. Alvis up, throws over to first base in time to Chance. That is the third out. No runs, 1 hit. A Sun double in left field for Lenz. Totals at the end of 6. 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Cleveland. 3 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for New York. And the action carries on. And right now, let me say that the next portion of this game will be brought to you by Ballantine Beer. Beer after beer, the most refreshing around. So smile, settle back, and enjoy baseball and ice-cold Ballantine beer. Now we have the shortstop in here. Well, Phil, these foul balls are sort of keeping folks awake, aren't they?
They sure are, Red. That one hit, that telephoto lens over there, only costs about $5,000. They'd rather lose a cameraman than that lens. Well, we've got a pressure-packed ball game right here at Yankee Stadium. The Indians have come back to tie it up at 3-3. A couple of other pressure-packed games around. In the National League, the Mets came up with 6 runs in the 7th inning and lead the Cardinals 15-4 at the end of 6.5. Holy cow, look at those homers. Altman, Cranepool with 2 on, Charlie Smith, Klaus with 2 on, and Christopher. 5 homers by the Mets. White and Boyer have homered for the Cardinals. And Philadelphia and Cincinnati just sitting there laughing up a storm listening to the game. They're not playing today. In the American League, it's Baltimore 6 and the Tigers 6 at the end of 6. Red Sox 5, Washington nothing, end of 5. White Sox 4, Kansas City nothing, end of 4.5. And they've just put the score up on the scoreboard. And you hear the fans' reaction as Pete Mickelson gets ready to pitch to Vic Davalillo. It's low and away, ball 1. Davalillo is hit to the box and fly to center. Batting .271. Mickelson's next delivery is swing and a miss, strike 1, 1-1. Pete Mickelson, who came on in a real clutch situation, a runner at third and 1 out, got Romano to bounce out to Linz and struck out Bob Chance, batting for Woody Held. And that's what's kept this game at a 3-3 tie. He runs up to bunt, takes it high, ball 2. That was the same type pitch on which Mickelson had struck out Chance, a change-up curveball. Now the 2-1 delivery. In there, strike 2 called, 2-2. This time of the year and this time of the day here at Yankee Stadium is tough to pick up that ball from the pitcher. The shadows have completely covered the pitching box and home plate. 2-2 pitch, ground ball to the right side. Pepitone, who is right, has it. And Davalillo beats him there. Pepitone was waiting for Mickelson to come over. Pepitone could have made the play and then realized that Mickelson couldn't get there and tried to beat Davalillo, couldn't do it. And that goes as an infield single. What a weird play. The Yankees got a break on a similar play in the first inning when Richardson bunted and the pitcher Stange threw to the first baseman Simone, who caught the ball and then went to tag the bag, and Richardson beat him to the bag. And that play cost the Indians 2 runs. The Yankees scored 2 runs in that first inning. And Tito Francona is going to bat for Billy Moran as Bertie Tebbett's going all out to win this ball game. As you know, there's no team in baseball that likes the pennant-winning team to win the pennant against their team. They figure it kind of leaves a black eye. And so Tebbetts is going all out to thwart the Yankees in their attempt to wrap it up today. Tito Francona, batting .249, has 12 doubles, 2 triples, 8 homers, and 24 runs batted in. A left-hand batter, which makes the double play that much tougher. Davalillo, who can fly, is at first base. He has 21 stolen bases. Francona digs in at home plate. Davalillo with a short lead at first. Pepitone holding him on. Here's a stretch. Boyer is in at third. Pitch to Francona, swing and a miss, strike 1. Francona steps back, gets a little dirt. Now he looks down at Sally Hemus, coaching at third. Boyer is way in at third base. Linz and Richardson have shortened up a couple of steps at short and second. The stretch. The pitch, a line drive, beautiful play by Pepitone, double play. So Pepitone, who was feeling a little punked by letting Davalillo beat out that grounded to him, leaped high in the air to take a double away from Francona, and Davalillo could possibly have scored on that ball. It was heading down in the right field corner, and Pepitone turns it into a double play. So 2 quick outs, and here's Lee Stange. He's sacrificed and bounced to the shortstop, hitting .060. A thriller here at Yankee Stadium today. 3-3 in the top of the 7th. The pitch is in there. Strike one call. And had Pepitone not been holding Davalillo on the bag at first, that ball would have been in for a double right down the line. Curve over, strike two called, 0-2. Mickey Mantle playing a very shallow right field against the right-hand hitting Stange. Curve outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. White Sox lead Kansas City 5-0 now at the end of 5. Red Sox lead Washington 5-0 end of 5. And Baltimore and Detroit tied 6-6 end of 6. And it's the Mets 15 and the Cardinals 4 at the end of 7. Mickelson delivers. It's outside with the curve. 2-2. On deck, Chico Simone. The 2-2 delivery. Low, ball 3. Full count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. The payoff pitch. Low, ball 4. Stange took it. It was close. First walk allowed by Mickelson. Stange at first with 2 out. Here's Chico Simone. Fly to right, single to center, and double to left. He has scored a run and driven in a run. Well, Holy Cross was leading Syracuse 8-0 at the half. But Syracuse bounced back with 34 points in the second half and defeated Holy Cross 34-8. In case you're wondering why you're not hearing the voice of the Yankees, Mel Allen, the last 2 days, he was up there doing this game. First pitch to Simone is in there, strike one call. Pepitone holds first against Stange. Stretch by Mickelson. Pitch to the right-hand hitter, foul and back of the plate, strike 2. Simone is batting .310. He's been a pleasant surprise for Bertie Tebbetts and the Indians. On deck, Dick Hauser. Here's the stretch. Curve outside, he held up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stange with a short lead at first base. Mickelson checks him. Delivers a curve, strike 3, swinging. That good change-up curveball again. And for the Indians in the top of the 7th, no runs, 1 hit. No Yankee errors, 1 man left. At the end of 6.5, Cleveland 3 and the Yankees 3.
Valentine beer. Valentine beer. Valentine beer.
It comes off the ice sparkling cold.
Valentine beer. Valentine beer.
It's smooth and satisfying all the way.
Valentine beer. Valentine beer.
Go ahead, enjoy the best.
You get a smile every time with a Valentine. Won't fill you up, won't let you down.
The crisp, clean taste of a Valentine
won't fill you up, won't let you down. So get a smile every time with a Valentine. Won't fill you up, won't let you down. Wow, what a beer, that Valentine.
For the Indians, Tito Francona has stayed in the game to play right field, and Larry Brown has moved in to play second base. So Francona will be hitting in the 8th position in the lineup. And Larry Brown will be hitting in the leadoff spot. Roger Maris steps in. Maris has walked, struck out, and bounced out to the pitcher. Batting .281. Lee Stange, who got off to a real shaky start, been in there all the way for Cleveland. His pitch to Maris is a curve outside, ball one. A 3-3 ball game in the bottom of the seventh. Stange delivers a foul tip back. Strike one, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A curve popped in the air. The shortstop, Dick Hauser, right near second base, makes the catch. Maris hit that one right off his fist. One out, here's Mickey Mantle. Mickey doubled with the bases loaded in the first inning, driving in 2 runs, then hit to the box and struck out. Batting .303. Stange's pitch is on the inside corner. Strike one called. Fastball fouled in the upper deck, strike two. On deck, Elston Howard. Stange ready. Right-hander delivers a curve low, gets back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Stange delivers. Foul again back in the upper deck. One out, nobody on in the last half of the 7th inning. Lee Stange ready. His curve is popped foul outside of third, near the stands, and goes back too far for Alvis to reach. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mickey. All right, Stange gets set out on the mound. Fires it in. It's inside. Romano started to throw the ball to third base. Now with his hands on his hips, talking to Johnny Rice. The count is even at 2-2. Here's Stange's 2-2 delivery. Little bit low, ball 3, and this time Stange and Romano did not agree with Johnny Rice. A full count on Mantle. Three ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. 1 out, nobody on. Stange ready now for the payoff pitch to Mantle. Foul down the left field line, near the stands and going back into the stands, out of play. Ball hit off a fan's hands and bounced back onto the field. Larry Knapp picks it up. Says we need a new ball in play. But Stange does not like the ball that Johnny Rice threw him. He wants another one. So we'll have the 3-2 pitch all over again to Mantle. Here is the payoff pitch. Fouled again, out of play. Off the upper deck and down below, and it hit the guide wire just as it was coming into the stands and bounced back onto the field. Little horseplay at home plate with Mantle and Romano. All right, Stange ready again. He kicks, delivers. It's high, ball 4. Third walk given up by Lee Stange, his first since the first inning when he walked 2 men. One of those walks was intentional to Howard, who is up now. Elias walked, singled, and struck out, batting .313. Bob Chance holds first against Mantle. Stretch by Stange. Pitch is low with the curve, ball 1. Mick leads away at first. Stange's pitch is over the inside corner, 1-1, and Howard was not happy with that call. One on Elston Howard. Stange to the set position. His pitch is low, knocked down by Romano. 2 balls and a strike. Time is called. And while time is called, we'll pause for station identification.
Hear a Broadway doubleheader on Lee Jordan's Music of Broadway tomorrow morning at 9:15 on WCBS and WCBS-FM, New York.
All right, we're ready to go. 2 balls, 1 strike on Howard, 1 out, 3-3 the score. Mantle at first. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the stretch. Pitch, a ground ball is short. Alvis cuts in front, up with it, throws in time to force Mantle at second. Just did get him. And it's a good thing Alvis cut in front of Dick Hauser, or they'd have never got Mantle at second base. So it's a force play. And the batter now, with Howard at first, will be Pepitone, who has popped to second, singled, and bounced to second. Joe batting .250. Chance not playing Howard real close to the bag. The stretch and the pitch to Pepitone. A foul back out of play. Back of the plate. 1 strike on Joe. On deck, Tommy Tresh. Two out, Howard leading off first. Stange ready. His pitch is low. The count's even at 1-1. Stange now ready for the 1-1 pitch. Swing, ground ball to second base. Up with it, Larry Brown. Flips the chance for the out. That's all for the Yankees in the bottom of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no Indian errors, 1 man left. And at the end of 7, it's Cleveland 3 and the Yankees 3. The National League at the end of 7.5, the Mets 15, the Cardinals 4. I'll say that again for those of you who may have fell off your seats. The Mets 15 and the Cardinals 4 at the end of 7.5. Pittsburgh and Milwaukee just getting underway, as is Chicago at San Francisco. Houston at Los Angeles tonight. Philadelphia and Cincinnati not scheduled. And they must really be enjoying this day off, with the Mets holding a 11-run lead, playing the 8th inning out in St. Louis. For the Indians, it'll be Dick Howser, Leon Wagner, and Max Alvis to face Pete Mickelson. Mickelson, who came on in the 6th inning to relieve Al Downing. Ready to go. Howser is 2 for 2. He walked, singled, and doubled. He has driven in a run and scored a run. Howser batting .256. This is the top of the 8th inning. All right, Mickelson toes the rubber, gets the sign from Elson Howard. First pitch to Howser is taken, strike 1 call. Mickelson's next pitch, low and away with the curve, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch, low and inside, ball 2, 2-1. Boyer is playing in at third. Howser can go down that line. He has 20 stolen bases. Time is called just as Mickelson was ready to deliver the pitch. Something had come down from the upper deck right around the batter's box, and Johnny Rice quickly called time. Little things like that flying around the batter's box can affect the batter more so than the pitcher in a spot like this. All right, here's a 2-1 delivery. Inside, ball 3. 3-1. Mickelson kicks, delivers. It's right down the... Oh, it's not. Johnny Rice started to lift the right hand and pulled it down quickly. It's ball 4. That ball must have really been a sharp sinker. And now Leon Wagner is coming up. Bertie Tebbetts came out of the dugout to talk to Wagner. Wagner's 0 for 3. Struck out, bounced to first, fly to left. Hitting .255. Boyer moves way in at third. Pepitone holding first against Howser. Let's see what Bertie Tebbetts has up his managerial sleeve right now. The stretch by Mickelson. Pitch to Wagner. He swings and misses, strike 1. Now Wagner looks down at Sally Hemus, coaching at third. A lot of times a manager will let a slugger swing at one pitch and then go to bunt on the next one. Throw to first, Howser back. Score is tied here, 3-3, nobody out in the top of the 8th. Stretch by Mickelson. His pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Now let's see if Mickelson uses that change-up curveball of his. That's been quite effective for him since he's been in this ball game. Got 2 strikeouts with it. Right-hander stretches. Low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He didn't use it on that pitch. That was a sinker. Mickelson gets the sign from Howard. He sets. Throw over to first. Hauser is back. Now Pete is ready. Delivers a foul. Just got a piece of that ball. Still 1-2 on Wagner. Nobody out, and Hauser at first. Score tied 3-3. Mickelson's changeup curve popped in the air in the infield. Boyer right at the mound is there. He one-hands it. And that'll bring up Max Alvis. Alvis has bounced to short, struck out, and tripled to deep left field. Max Alvis batting .253. A right-hand batter. Throw to first base. Hauser's back. He's dancing off first, bothering Mickelson a little bit. On deck, Johnny Romano. Here's the stretch. Another throw over there. Hauser is back. Now the stretch. Pitch, swing and a miss. The run is going, and he's hung up between first and second. Richardson to Pepitone, to Richardson, to Pepitone. He bluffs him, and Pepitone tags him out. That was a delayed steal by Dick Hauser, but Howard was alert for it. And his perfect throw to Richardson hung him up between first and second for a little while there. It looked like Richardson and Pepitone were just playing catch, throwing it back and forth. But they get Hauser. 2 to 4 to 3 to 4 to 3. So it's 2 out. A 1-strike count on Max Alvis. Slow curve over, strike 2 call. Mickelson pitching with his full windup now. Gets the sign from Howard. 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. For the Indians, no runs, no hits, no Yankee errors, nobody left. At the end of 7.5. Cleveland 3 and the Yankees 3.
Let's hear some claps. Here's a great new way to buy your bottled beer. New Valentine's flip caps are here. They're a snap to open, pull out, up and over, the handy way. No bottle opener. That's right, beer bottles you open without a bottle opener. New Valentine flip caps. They're a snap to open. Like I said, pull out, up, and over. Then pour yourself a Valentine. Wow, what a beer. Won't fill you up, won't let you down. Gives you a smile every time. And here's something extra to smile about. Valentine's flip cap bottles are no deposit, no return. Go get Valentine flip caps. Don't delay. Get them in the 6-pack right away. Get Valentine beer in new flip cap bottles. They're a snap to open.
In the bottom of the 8th inning, Tommy Tresh leads off for the Yankees. Tommy's 0 for 3. Popped a short fly to center and struck out. Batting .247. A 3-3 ball game. Well, the Cardinals scored a run in the 8th inning. It's 15-5 in favor of the Mets. They got a long road to hoe there out in St. Louis. Lee Stange ready to pitch to Tommy Tresh. Curve hit foul outside of first, strike one. On deck, Clete Boyer, and then Mickelson will follow. Fastball hit on the ground, foul again outside of first. 0-2 on Tresh. Yankees have 9 base hits, but they got 8 of those hits in the first 3 innings. Then they got 1 in the 6th. Stange has really settled down. They had him on the ropes in the first inning. Yankees scored 2 and then had the bases loaded with nobody out. But Stange got out of it. The 2-strike pitch. Curve pulled foul outside of first again. Still 0-2. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Couldn't ask for a more perfect day for a ball game. Stange gets set. Outside, and the count is even at 2-2. Here's his 2-2 delivery. Ground ball to second base. Larry Brown on the big hop. Flips the chance. It's 1 out. It brings up Boyer. Clete popped to second. Then single to left field in the 3rd with 2 out to drive in a run. Check that with 1 out at the time. And that run was the 3rd run the Yankees scored. Then in the 6th inning, Boyer bounced to short. He's 1 for 3, batting .218. And Johnny Blanchard has come in the on-deck circle. So it looks like Mickelson will not come up to bat. Pitch to Boyer is low, ball 1. And it could be that Pedro Ramos is heating up in the bullpen. Two balls, no strikes now on Clete Boyer. Pedro Ramos is heating up in the Yankee bullpen. It's 2 balls, no strikes on Boyer. Stange into the windup. Pitches. It's a ground ball in the hole. A base hit to left field. Boyer round first. Wagner up with it and fires it on in, and Clete is on with a single. And the batter is Johnny Blanchard, batting for Pete Mickelson. Mickelson did an excellent, outstanding job in relief. Blanchard batting .237, 8 doubles, 7 homers, 28 runs batted in. On deck, Phil Linz. Boyer at first with 1 out. The stretch by Stange. Pitch to Blanchard is low, scooped out of the dirt by Johnny Romano. Ball 1. Here's the stretch. Pitch, pop foul, coming near the stands, and just back into the first row of box seats alongside the Indian dugout. Romano could not reach it. 1-on-1 on Blanchard. That ball game is over out in St. Louis. The Mets have defeated the Cardinals 15-5. Parsons is the winner. And it looks like Sadecki is the loser. So Philadelphia and Cincinnati will have a good night's sleep tonight as they go into that final day of that National League pennant race that could end up in a 3 or possibly 4-way tie. How do you like that? I'd hate to explain that playoff situation that could develop. All right, here's the stretch by Stange. The pitch to Blanchard. Hit high in the air to right field, but Tito Francona is moving in under it, and he's got it. Blanchard flies to right field. 2 out. That's right. Joe Cooper has just reminded me that either Philadelphia or Cincinnati will be eliminated tomorrow, depending on who wins or loses the game. All right, here's Phil Linz. Doubled, bounced to short, struck out, and then doubled in the 6th. 2 for 4, both of them doubles. Linz batting .251. Boyer at first with 2 out. The stretch by Stange. Pitch to Linz is low, ball 1. And don't forget this American League race. White Sox are winning 5-0. Playing the bottom of the 6th against Kansas City. Pitch, a ground ball in the hole. A base hit to left field for Linz. Boyer's around second, going to third. The throw comes into second base, and Linz holds it first. The Yankees have runners at first and third and 2 out, and Bobby Richardson the batter. Bill Linz now 3 for 5. That's the 11th hit for the Yankees, and here comes Bertie Tebbetts out. Bertie Tebbetts is talking first to plate umpire Johnny Rice. Bobby Richardson, who is 2 for 4, a bunt single, a single to left center, bounced to short and bounced to third. And Tebbetts is coming out to the mound. He's calling his infield in. And of course they want to be on the alert here for a possible double steal. A lot of managers, when a double steal is in order in this situation, like the catcher to fire the ball back to the pitcher, so that in the event that the runner on third comes home, they can hang him up, and if he doesn't, the pitcher can still turn around and possibly get the man going to second. It's an unusual play, but it has worked in the past. Tebbetts is talking to Romano, Stange, and Larry Brown, the second baseman. Bobby Richardson, the batter. Bobby was up in the 6th inning with Linz at second and 2 out and bounced out to third. The score is tied 3-3. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, 2 out and 2 on. Here's the official paid attendance, 14,879. The total, including servicemen, 15,544. All right, the huddle is over. Tebbetts is going back to the dugout. It looks like Stange is staying in there unless Tebbetts does the same thing Yogi did. Walked out to Downing, walked back to the dugout, and then came back out again, took Downing out. All right, that's the situation. Linz at first, Boyer at third, Richardson the batter. 2 out, the score tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the stretch. Pitch to Bobby. Low and outside, ball 1. Couldn't ask for a better man up at the plate in a situation like this than Richardson. Bobby, who has been hitting that ball hard consistently. The stretch. The pitch fouled into the stands, out of play. Bobby Richardson has struck out only 35 times all year, and he's been at bat 675 times, including the 4 times today. A 1-1 count on Bobby. Runners lead off first and third. The stretch by Stange. His pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. Bobby went down on one knee after that swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out and 2 on. Tension here at Yankee Stadium. And I got a headache from all the tension. Birds are flying around above us. Here's the stretch. Look at the runner at first. The pitch, line drive. You know he knocks it down, can't make the play. And Boyer scores and the Yankees lead 4-3. A base hit for Richardson. He hit a line drive that Dick Hauser leaped for. Got his glove on, but it trickled out of his glove. He could not make a play on Linz at second or Richardson at first, and Bobby comes through with a clutch single. The Yankees lead 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th, and the batter is Roger Maris. Roger is 0 for 3. He walked, struck out, hit to the box, and popped to short. Actually, Hauser leaped too high for that ball. It hit in the heel of his glove and just trickled out. Here's the stretch. Linz at second, Richardson at first. The pitch to Maris is low, ball 1. Bobby Richardson drives in his 50th run of the year, and it could be the most important run he's driven in all year. The stretch by Stange. Pitch to Maris. Ground ball, just foul outside of third. Maris hit that one right off the end of the bat, and it squibbed foul. 1-1 on Maris. Linz leads off second. Richardson off first. Here's the stretch by Stange. His pitch fouled back to the screen. The count's even. Not quite. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stange gets a new ball. Maris digging in at the plate. On deck is Mickey Mantle. All right, Stange is ready. His pitch low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pedro Ramos had been loosening up for the Yankees, but now Whitey Ford is up alone in the Yankee bullpen. Whitey Ford pitched last night. Complete game, won it 5-2. We'll wait and see what Yogi's going to do. Right now, the Yankees lead 4-3. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. The pitch to Maris, high, and it's a full count, 3-2, and the runners will be off with the pitch. A full count on Roger Maris. Stange ready for the payoff pitch. The runners go. He delivers. It's high. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. And here comes Bertie Tebbetts. And that's going to be all for Lee Stange. It's George Strickland walking out there and not Bertie Tebbetts. But nevertheless, that's all for Lee Stange. Pitched a very unusual ball game, but a fine ball game. He worked 7 2/3 innings. He allowed 12 base hits, walked 4, struck out 6 men. 7 men, I think that is. 7 men he struck out. and has been charged with 4 runs, but he's got the bases loaded here as Don McMahon is coming on. And while McMahon's taking that long walk in from the bullpen, let's pause for station identification.
Hear a Broadway doubleheader on Lee Jordan's Music of Broadway tomorrow morning at 9:15 on WCBS and WCBS-FM, New York.
So Don McMahon, the right-hander, is coming on to pitch to Mickey Mantle. Mickey has doubled to drive in 2 runs, hit to the box, struck out, and walked. He's batting .303. Mickey was up in the first inning and double a left with the bases loaded. This is the 70th appearance of the year for Don McMahon. He's won 6 and lost 4. I tell you, the relief pitchers have really been getting their work this year. John Wyatt of Kansas City has been in over 80 games, and Dick Raditz has been in close to 80 games. They broke Jim Constanti's long-standing record of appearances, 74 that Constanti had while he was with the Phillies. Well, that's the way this game has turned out to be, a specialist game. And relief pitches are really specialties. All right, the bases are loaded. Linz is at third, Richardson at second, Maris at first, and Mantle will be the batter. The Yankees lead in the ball game 4-3. Johnny Rice dusting off home plate as Mantle steps into the batter's box. Here's the windup by McMahon. Pitch to Mantle. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. McMahon gets the sign. Kicks, delivers. It's low. Mantle checks his swing. It's 1-1. McMahon asking for time now, wants to tie his shoelace. He's ready. A 1-1 count to Mickey Mantle. The windup. The pitch, a foul back, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see who the Indians have coming up next inning. Johnny Romano, Bob Chance, and Vic Davalillo. A right-hand batter and 2 left-hand batters. And then after Davalillo, Francona, another left-hand batter. So that could be the reason why Yogi's getting Ford loosened up in the bullpen. All right, here's the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. High and away, and the count's even at 2-2. McMahon is falling way to his left off the mound after he delivers each pitch. Bases are loaded with 2 out. Yankees lead 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. The windup. The pitch. High foul outside of third. Alvis going back near the stands. Can't reach it. It goes back into the crowd. Out of play. Mick hit that one right off his fist. McMahon rubbing up the new ball. Now McMahon gets the sign from Romano. All three runners leading away. Pitch to Mickey. Almost hit him. And did it hit him? Let's see. I don't know how it missed him if it didn't hit him. No, it didn't hit him. It's 3-2. Boy, that ball was right at Mickey's right shoulder. And he just got out of the way in time. Romano dropped the ball. Runners did not advance. It's a full count, but now they'll be running with the pitch. McMahon moving his defense around. Nick gets up, dusts himself off, back in the batter's box. All right, here's the payoff pitch to Mantle. Ball 4, and McMahon is storming off the mound. Lynn scores. The Yankees lead 5-3. Romano is arguing as a rubber ball is thrown out of the upper deck. A base on balls, a run batted in for Mickey, his third of the day. Forcing in Phil Linz. That run is charged to Stang. The bases remain loaded, and Elston Howard the batter. Ellie has walked, singled, struck out, and bounced to third. Batting .312. So let's see, Mantle has 3 RBIs. That gives him a total of 111 on the year. Brooks Robinson leads the American League in runs batted in. He has 117. But right now that ties Mantle for the second spot with Dick Stewart and Harmon Killebrew. All right, here's Elston Howard ready. McMahon delivers a curve that's high, ball 1. A big insurance run just forced across the plate. Howard swings and misses a curve. Strike 1, 1-1. On deck, Joe Pepitone. The 1-1 pitch inside, and Howard had to jump back out of the way in a hurry. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. It's over. Strike 2 called. 2-2. McMahon goes back to the rosin bag. Fires it down on the ground. All 3 men leading away. The pitch is a curve fouled back out of play in the upper deck. Count holds at 2-2. The Mets beat the Cardinals 15-5 this afternoon. Again, we have the 2-2 pitch. Foul off the end of the bat. Count holds at 2-2. Still 2-2 on Howard. Richardson at third. Maris at second. Mantle at first. The Yankees 5, the Indians 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the windup. The pitch low and away, and again we have a full count, 3-2 with the bases loaded. McMahon asking for time, checking the sign with Romano. The runners all start to go. Here's the pitch. Line to center field. In for a base hit. 2-run score. Mantle pulls up at third, and the Yankees lead 7-3. As Elston Howard hits a 3-2 pitch on the line to center field. Driving in 2 runs. And George Strickland is coming out of the dugout, and it looks like that's going to be all for Don McMahon. With Joe Pepitone coming up. Pepitone, the 9th Yankee to bat here in the 8th inning. The Yankees lead 7-3. Mantle has driven in 3, Howard 2, Boyer 1, and Richardson 1. Howard now has 83 runs batted in on the year. And on the day, he is 2 for 4, so he's batting .315. Bobby Richardson came up with a big base hit for the Yankees with 2 out. A line single off the glove of Dick Hauser to drive in the run that put the Yankees ahead 4-3. And Dick Donovan is coming on. Donovan was scheduled to be one of the starting pitchers in this series. But Bertie Tebbetts might have to change his pitching plans now. Donovan is making his 29th appearance of the year. He has won 7 and lost 9. But we notice looking at his card that he has been used in relief. This is his 6th relief appearance of the year. Tall right-hander, 6'3", 205 pounds, from Quincy, Massachusetts. Don McMahon did not retire any Yankee player while he was in the ball game. And Donovan coming on now will be facing Pepitone. Pedro Ramos is up in the Yankee bullpen now. The Yankees leading 7-3. And the bottom of the 8th with 2 out. Mantle at 3rd and Howard at 1st. Pepitone is 1 for 4. He's popped to 2nd, bounced to 2nd twice and singled. Batting .250. Still looking for that 100th RBI of the year. And he has had his chances, especially in this Indian series. Tommy Tresh, who led off this inning by bouncing out to 2nd, is on deck. We're having a little ticket trouble here, getting the other scores in. Chicago is leading Kansas City 5-0 at the end of 5½, but that's been up there for a long, long time. As at Boston at Washington, the Red Sox lead 5-0 at the end of 5. And Detroit at Baltimore 6-6 at the end of 6, but some of those games might be over by this time. We're going to check to see if we can get any further scores. The only score in the National League, the Mets beat the Cardinals 15-5. All right, Dick Donovan ready to go now, pitching to Joe Pepitone. Mantle leads off 3rd, Howard off 1st. Stretch by Donovan. Pitch to Pepitone is over, strike 1 call. Donovan shakes off a couple of signs. Now he sets. Way outside, almost a wild pitch. 1-1. Donovan goes to the rosin bag. The right-hander stretches. Delivers a line drive to right field, and there's his 100th RBI. A line single as Mantle scores. The Yankees lead 8-3. And Joe Pepitone finally gets that base hit. Turns around and shakes Jimmy Gleason's hand, coaching at first base. Joe Pepitone. drives in Mickey Mantle with a line single to deep right field. Yankees lead 8-3, and here's Tommy Tresh up for the second time in the inning. Tommy is 0 for 4 in this ball game, batting .246. Howard now at third and Pepitone at first, and that ought to relax Joe now. Pitch to Tresh, ground ball to third. Alvis up with it, goes to first base in time to get Tresh, who made 2 outs in 1 inning. But the Yankees come up with 5 runs on 5 hits. No Indian errors and 2 men left. And at the end of 8, it's the Yankees 8, the Indians 3.
Aha, good evening, monsieur.
Who is the ale man?
Your regular table is waiting.
He could be you, a man with a thirst for a manlier brew.
May I take the lady's coat?
3 out of 4 men every time choose the bolder, keener tasting ale.
The usual, monsieur?
Valentine.
The unusual. That's the taste of an ale man and a Ballantine ale. Bolder, keener, more to the point. Next time you order up enjoyment, be a man about it. A Ballantine ale man.
Who is the ale man? He could be you, a man with a thirst for a manlier brew. 3 out of 4 men every time choose the bolder, keener tasting ale. Valentine.
Pedro Ramos is coming on to do the pitching here in the top of the 9th with the Yankees leading 8-3. Pedro is making his 13th appearance of the year as a Yankee. Overall, his 49th appearance of the year, and he is pitching against his former teammates. The Yankees got him from the Cleveland Indians. Pedro has won 8, lost 10, and since he joined the Yankees, he has won 1 and lost none. Ramos with New York has an earned run average of 1.31. He's pitched a total of 20 2/3 innings, allowing just 3 runs. All right, Johnny Romano will lead off. Romano is 0 for 3, struck out twice and bounced to the shortstop. The Yankees looking to clinch their 5th straight pennant and their 29th overall. Here's the first pitch to Romano. Ground foul outside of third. Nice play by Sally Hemus in the coaching box. Strike 1. Crowd yells as a paper airplane blows right out in front of home plate. Howard flips it away left-handed, saving that arm. Yankees won the pennant 5 straight years once before, 1949 through 1953. The pitch, check swing foul, back in the upper deck, out of play. Pete Mickelson is the pitcher of record for the Yankees, and Lee Stange for Cleveland. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Fouled just off the end of the bat. Went for an outside curveball and just did nick it. Back in 1922, the Yankees won the pennant on the next to last day of the season. St. Louis Browns finished second. And in 1949, they won it on the last day of the season. The Red Sox finished second, and I'll never forget that series because I was in it. The pitch, ground ball to short. Linz is up with it. Fires to first, 1 away. That brings up Bob Chance. Chance pinch hit in the 6th inning and struck out. He's batting .278. On deck, Vic Davalillo. The windup by Ramos. His pitch, ground ball hit to short. Linz comes in. He's got it. Over to first, 2 away. And you'll hear the crowd roar on this next out. 2 out, nobody on. Top of the ninth, the Yankees lead 8-3. Vic Davalillo, the batter. He is 1 for 3. Hit to the box, fly to center, and beat out a ground ball to first base. I guess the Yankees figure that champagne is cold enough. Been in the refrigerator for a few days. All right, here's the pitch to Davalillo. Outside, ball 1. Ramos into the windup. His pitch, curve outside, ball 2, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Swing and a pop foul. Could be in play. Howard back near the stands. And Boyer, and who's got it? Howard caught it! Elston Howard caught that foul ball. The ball game is over. The Yankees win it 8-3, clinching the pennant. They're mobbing Ramos, and now down to the Yankee dugout, clubhouse, someplace.
Hey, Al, nice work, buddy. Give me 5. Attaboy. Are we on? Okay, number 29. We're down here, and they'll be coming in just a minute. The Yankees have just won their 29th pennant, and I didn't know I was on the air. Here they come. Pete Mickelson did a great job going through there. Hector Lopez, Bill Lynn, spectacular down the stretch. Pedro Ramos, and Yogi, Mantle, Yogi. Hey, Yogi. Yogi, congratulating his players. There's the happiest man here in the clubhouse, Yogi Berra. Joe Pepitone got his 100. We'll get you a little bit. We're waiting for the manager to get him over here to talk to him. Yo, come on over here, buddy. Yogi, is this one sweeter than when you were a player?
Yes, it is, Jerry. Sure is. Gee, that Mickelson did a good job when he went in there, and well, we fought all the way, Jerry. I think this is the hardest one I think I've ever been on.
Well, actually, even though that one in 49 went longer, this one, when your first year as a manager, were there at any time, did you have any qualms about this club winning?
Well, Jerry, it was just one time. The writers asked me. It was the game we lost in Los Angeles. And then I really got it back up when we wanted to beat Minnesota twice over there in Minnesota when Washington beat Chicago. Though I said, I think we could do it.
Yogi, let me ask you this. How did you manage to stay so calm all year? I'm excited. You're not excited.
Well, a lot of people say they don't show it, Jerry. Maybe I did or not, but I've been a ball player, Jerry. I know how it feels, and every one of these boys deserve it. We worked hard for it, Jerry, and we deserve it.
Well, let me ask you this. The big guys, the Mantle, the Howard, the Marises, Pepitone coming in on the stretch drive, Bobby Richardson. When that ball went out to Dick Hauser, the pivotal play, and he jumped a little too soon, what happened on that bench?
Oh, boy, everything went up, Jerry. That was a nice one. Crosetti was telling me the ball got in the sun there. He jumped up from the shadow into the sun, and it got in his eyes.
Yogi, go enjoy yourself. A well-deserved victory. I know you're thrilled to death, but we're thrilled for you. The first year out, Yogi comes up with his big one, the first pennant. Joe Pepitone, now, you're beautiful. Tell us about that 100th RBI, Joe.
Jerry, took a long time coming, boy, but I'm happy I got it. There's my man right back there, Phil Lynch. Mickey, he got it in for me. Boy, I'm just, you know, Jerry, all year long having trouble on first base. And then coming through today, you know what I mean, and winning, it takes all the pressure. I had a ball here, and it disappeared after that last out.
How did you feel this morning going into the game, Joe?
Jerry, I'll tell you, I was a little shaken up. Believe me, I was real tight, and I was worrying about the 2 days previous where I made a couple errors on first base, and it was on my mind. And this hurts me a lot. But today, in that 8th inning, boy, when we got those 5 runs, everything was going. I just want to get one more RBI for myself, Jerry. That's 100. That
right.
took a long time.
Pepe, let me ask you this one. In the first inning, the bag's loaded.
A little nervous,
Did it
Jerry.
hurt?
Everything was tight.
Do you get that tight? Do the arms get tough and the wrists get stiff?
Oh, Jerry, I was like steel. This is the whole thing. You have to be loose on first base. The only time I was loose on first base when it was 2 out in the last inning. And when I saw that pop-up go to Ellie, I says, Eddie, don't drop it, please. I don't want to get the next ball hit to me. But I really feel good, Jerry. This right now is the happiest time of my life. Right now. Believe me, I'm really happy.
Joe Pepitone,
Thank you, Jerry.
congratulations.
Thank you very
Good luck
much.
in the series, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Jim Boughton, 17. Come on over here. Where's Ellie? Come on over here, Ellie. Now, wait a minute. Don't pour it on me this year. Ellie, how about it? A sweet one? You've been around for a lot of them.
It was a good one, Jerry, and I really appreciate it because, you know, Yogi was the new manager, and a lot of people say this is the year that we're supposed to lose the pennant, so I think that's one of the reasons why I'm tickled after we won it.
Elson, let me ask you this. How about that sun? That looked devastating out there in the outfield. It looked to me like a lot of balls the outfielders were having trouble they may have caught up to. Is it that wicked?
Well, you can recall during the World Series one year that Norm Siebert played outfield. Right. And this time of the year, the sun is very rough because the shadows falls and the sun is right through the stands. So in other words, the ball hit it, and if you don't get your glasses down and the ball is direct in the sun, you get one black dot. So the ball is very hard to pick up. Same as hitting up to the plate. It's very hard hitting.
All right, Elson Howard, one last one. How about this ball club the last 7 weeks? Tremendous surge. Have you ever seen anything like
Well, I've never seen anything like it, Jerry, because everyone had counted the ball club, say we were dead, we wasn't going to win the pennant, and we came back with the help of Bowden, Downing, and Mickey began to hit, and all the other fellows, Lentz and Kubek and Richardson, and we got real fine relief pitching in Pedro Ramos, and we did a real good job.
Ellie, good luck to you. Enjoy the World Series. Enjoy that champagne, relax, and have some fun.
Thank you.
Well, I got to break through here, and we're going to break away for a message right after this.
Camel time. It's camel time. Camel time.
It's pleasure time for you.
Camel time is any time when nothing less will do.
Things all seem to brighten up.
Every time you light one up. Right now make it camel time. Have a camel cigarette.
The best tobacco makes the best smoke. Camel gives you easygoing taste, honest enjoyment, choice quality tobaccos. The exclusive Camel blend of costly tobaccos has never been equaled. The best tobacco makes the best smoke.
Right now make it camel time. Have a camel cigarette.
You're managing one pennant, huh?
Boy.
Pretty
It's
good
really
percentage, huh?
exciting, I thought, didn't- Well, I don't know about percentage. I think this was
Yo,
the
you look a
toughest
little
one
damp.
I ever
What,
been in.
what happened to you?
Well, I needed a shampoo, and they gave me a champagne shampoo.
Is this the first you've ever had?
Yeah.
Well, as you look back over your first year managing, just how tough was this now that it's over with?
Well, Ralph warned me. He told me this is going to be like being a player, Red, and it was terrific. I really enjoyed it. I think, like I said before, I wanted the one-year contract. I wanted to see if I could manage. I don't know. Maybe I still don't know, but I feel pretty good, Red.
I would think so, Yogi. Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And I'm not going to even ask you who you're going to play tomorrow. So now they're going to take Yogi's picture. Phil Lynn, who's just on with us, is pouring a little more champagne on the manager. Well, this is sort of the tradition, you know. You give the manager the champagne shampoo, just like throwing the winning coxswain overboard. Now, let's see. Hey, here's Joe Pepitone. Joe, wait just a second. We've got the radio mic here. Congratulations,
Thank
Joe.
you, Ray. Thank you. That's a big game. It was big enough for me because I got my 100th RBI, and boy, I was waiting. One more game, I didn't think I was going to make it.
Yeah, but there was one more important point. You know, when Francona came up to pinch hit, if that ball had been about 4 inches higher, we might not be here.
Sure, Brad, I didn't even think I was going to catch it because I was so tight, believe me. You know, the 2 previous days, fielding poorly, very poorly, and this is all season long, and I was very tight. And in that 8th inning and 9th inning, when we got those runs, I said, oh, boy. I said, just don't let him hit any balls to me this inning. Let him hit the good ball players.
Hey, wait a minute, Ralph. Friends, here's Ralph Howard. First year as a general manager, 1 pennant. That's a pretty good percentage, isn't it, Ralph?
Well, it's a wonderful year, Ed. You got to give the team a lot of credit and Yogi a lot of credit. They came from behind. It was a long season, but in true Yankee style, they pulled one out again. It was a little rough for a while, but this has certainly been a great year.
Well, Mr. Houck, you didn't have anything to do with bringing up a fellow named Stottlemyre, did you?
Well, I'd like to say that the organization deserves all the credit for that. Our farm system, Johnny Johnson's ahead of it, and our scouts, and this is what makes the Yankees a winner. It's the organization
and of
behind
course, you weren't involved at all in the Ramos deal.
Well, we've always liked Pedro, and we're glad he was on our side this last month.
Ralph, I know you want to see a lot of people, and one more thing, aside from congratulations. Is it tougher to be a general manager through a pennant battle, or is it tougher to be down in the dugout as a field manager?
I think this is my hardest year, Ed, and I'd just like to thank all the Yankee fans for supporting us, and I think that, along with it, gives us the zest to go on and be champions. And let's hope that this year we'll prove that there's nobody in that National League can beat us, and we'll bring that World Championship back to New York. That's where it belongs.
Well, I know you don't know who you're going to play, but I know this, that you've had Cincinnati and St. Louis pretty well scouted. Who have you had on them?
Well, we've had Mayo Smith, Johnny Noon, and Bill Skiff, and we've got all three clubs well scouted along with San Francisco, so we're leaving no stones unturned.
You've even got a book on Philadelphia that you're not going to use, huh?
It looks that way.
Ralph, again, congratulations.
Thank you, Red.
Ralph Houck, friends. Been a great year, Ralph.
A real good one.
Tough one. Now, let's see who else is around. I tell you, we've got the fellows back in the shower room and they're back in the clubhouse. I believe that actually this was one of the toughest pennants that the Yankees have won, and maybe it's left its mark. Because from what I've seen, and my being around here in some years, and that this is about the quietest Yankee clubhouse after a pennant win that I have encountered. Now, let's see. Here is Jim Farley, who just come in to say congratulations. Jim, I think that you are one of the real, genuine, all-line Yankee fans, and it's very wonderful to see you here and looking so well.
Well, thank you very much. I've been rooting for the Yankees since 1904. I used to go up and see them play all down through the years. I'm a devotee of the Yankees. I like baseball. I come up here and relax, and I feel badly when they lose. I suffer just as much as they do, and I'm happy when they win.
Jim, I know that the Yankees have, in a season with the Red Sox, that won on the last day. But I guess this is one of the real tough pennants, isn't it?
I would think so. I don't think they ever went down to the second last day before. I was here in 1904, Red, up at the Yankees, up at the old stadium in the Hilltoppers, when they lost the game, the pennant to the Boston Red Sox, and then they won the second game, 1-0, 11 innings. Chesbo made that very famous wild pitch, or Kleino failed to catch the spit ball. I don't know who was to blame, but they lost the pennant by half a game that year. That was 1904 or 5.
Hmm? Well, we're awfully glad we got to see you, Mr. Farley.
Glad to see you, Red.
Glad to see you looking so well.
Well, I say it right back at you. Good luck and God bless you.
Thank you. Now, here's Pedro Ramos. Pete, let me borrow you for a second. Here you had the poetic justice, should we say. You come from the Indians, and then you lock up the ball game against your old ball club as the Yankees nail down the pennant. And congratulations on the work you've done over here.
Thank you very much. I don't care if it was the Indians or anybody else. I just want to do a good job, and I hope and I wish, and I'm so happy that the Yankees win the pennant that I don't know what else can I say.
Well, you really put your shoulder to the wheel.
Well, I try my best because I know when you're with a winner, you got to be first class.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've been a first-class man, Pete. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I know the Yankees wish, Yogi said so, that they could have you in the World Series. Now, I don't want to get in Jerry Coleman's television picture, but there are a couple of fellows I do want to get to around here. I've got a long cord, and I'm just going to walk right back of it. Jerry's talking to John Blanchard, and if he doesn't mind, let's get over here. We've had Yogi, and here's Steve Hamilton. Steve, congratulations.
Hey, Red, thank you very much. Certainly feel a lot better now than I did about 20 minutes ago.
How much tougher was the pennant this year than last year?
Well, it's quite a bit tougher. Last year we were on top all the way, and it seemed like there wasn't as much pressure. I felt like there was, but I sure didn't after experiencing this year. So when we go down the next to the last day, it's really tough.
Fine, Steve. Let's get over to Bobby Richardson. Bobby, you hit a line drive that had eyes, didn't you? That ball that Hauser couldn't hold.
Well, actually, Red, when I got down to second base, he explained that the sun was right over the top of his head. He saw the ball all the way, and just as he jumped up, the sun, of course, hit him right in his eyes, and he didn't see the ball. The ball hit on the side of his glove, and of course he didn't hold it.
Well, I guess that'll make you a sun worshiper from now on.
Well, it sure will. I didn't hit the ball too good, Red. I hit it right on the fist, but I was sure glad to see it drop in there.
Well, the result was important.
Well, it sure was. This has been a long struggle for us, and I
Been a
think
scramble, hasn't it?
since I've been with the club, certainly it's been the hardest one to get, and the one that I think we appreciate more than any.
Well, Bobby, I know this. You've never had a September on this ball club like this one, have you?
That's true, Red. This is what won the pennant for us, our tremendous record in September when we had to win those ball games. And certainly Chicago and Baltimore set a good pace, and we're just pleased that it came out the way it did.
Well, you were certainly in there, and again, congratulations, Bobby.
Thank you a lot, Red.
Here's Pete Mickelson back here. Pete, you came out of the bullpen. The ball game was 3-3. Cleveland had a man at third base, and only one man was out, and you really did the job.
Thanks, Fred.
How was the sinker today? Is that what you got him out with?
The first hitter I did, then I got the last hitter chance out on a changeup.
Mm-hmm. Then you went 2 more innings, and how'd you feel about it?
Well, I got behind. I walked the first hitter, but I got out of it. He tried to steal second and delayed steal, and they caught him in between and ran him out. And after I got him out, I had 2 outs, and I felt pretty confident after that.
Pete, you've done quite a job. You've been in 50 ball games this year.
Is that right, Red? I don't know exactly how many. I knew it was in the high 40s or so, 50. Yeah.
Well, I think for a first-year fellow, that's quite a group.
That's a lot of games.
Well, you rewarded the judgment of your manager, Yogi Picture, in the spring. You're his boy, and again, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Red.
Bye. Now, here's Bob Fischel, the Director of Public Relations, and Mr. Fischel has come here for the clinching, of course. He's got to be here. But, Bob, we haven't seen you in several days. You haven't had anything to do, have you?
No, I haven't, Red. Thank you. I really can't accept any congratulations. I didn't get a base hit all year, and I think that's the standard line that I give you every year. But it's just as thrilling as the first one that I marked 9 years ago. I think probably that was the first big thrill I had here, and there have been a lot since.
Well, what's kept you out of the ballpark the last few days?
Well, trying to decide how many programs to do, and we've done 2, one for Cincinnati and one for St. Louis, and now the Giants are calling us. They want us to prepare another book for them, and they want our material for their book, and I got Phillies material. If I have to do 4 of them, I don't think we'll get done in time.
And of course, you don't hear from many newspaper men and press and TV,
oh,
etc. about accommodations.
Oh boy!
Nobody in civilian life wants tickets.
No, we haven't got a reserve or box seat left. We do have these open stand tickets, though, still. Fans can still get those tickets if they want to. There are some of those open stand in the right center field bleachers, and they're pretty good seats, particularly on a day like this.
Well, Bob, again, congratulations. And I know it's a great deal of work for you and the rest of the staff, but it's worth it, isn't it?
It sure is, Red, and thank you for everything you've done for us this year, because your cooperation's meant an awful lot to us.
For goodness sake, I can take a page out of your book. I haven't had a base hit all season either.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob. There's Mickey Mantle back here. I want to get a quick word of him. Hi, Tony. Tony Florio, the bat player. Just stay around here, Tony. Whoop. Turn loose that cord, and that's Joe Ripley, of all people, stepping on it. Right. Mick, just a quick word. I know you're talking to Jack Hand of the AP. This is about the roughest pennant for you you've been in, isn't it?
I was just telling him that I think this is the biggest thrill I've had in the pennant so far because of the fact that it was so tough to win. And I hate to admit it, but I did give up on it a little bit early. We lost 4 in a row to Chicago, and I wasn't playing. I was feeling bad, and Whitey was hurting. Everybody was feeling bad, and then all of a sudden, our whole team just kind of knitted back together, and it's a big thrill to win it this year.
Well, Mick, may I say this? I don't want to try and get you to say it, but when you started taping up those legs and forcing yourself to go, you did a great deal about picking up this ball club, my friend, and I think you can feel prouder of this one than anyone you've been in.
Well, I do.
I think you had to work harder.
Thanks a lot. We did. We had to work real hard. The American League is a lot better this year, I think, than it has been in the past. I know the pitching's a lot better and everything, and I just feel real good that we won it.
And again, congratulations. I don't want to try and hold you up.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, we promised, hey, Whitey. We got Whitey Ford over here, friends. He can't go on television, but radio doesn't have any seeing eye. We caught him on the way to the shower, but we couldn't let you get by. That was quite a job you did last night.
Well, thank you, Red. I think the club has just been great the last 6 weeks. It's been somebody picking us up each day. If it isn't Mickey, it's somebody on the pitching staff, and felt like Phil Lynn's come in and done a great job for Tony. It's just been a real team effort, if I can use a phrase.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of somebody on the pitching staff making a pickup once in a while, a fellow named Ford did that occasionally, didn't he?
Well, yes, it's been a funny year for me, Red. I just wish 2 out of the last 3 years, and I kind of wish I'd been able to pitch every 4th day. And this year and in 1962, something happened, and I just hope I can just keep pitching every fourth day from now on.
Well, I know York has in mind working you Wednesday if the National League won't get in a playoff and spoil the plot. But the one question we want to ask you, how's your heel and how do you feel generally?
Well, it was fine. I was worried the first few innings last night because I was pitching with men on bases, you know, but after from the third inning on, I just could take my wind up pretty near the rest of the game, and there was nothing wrong with it. And now I'll have till Wednesday for it to get a little better. I think I'll be all right.
Okay, Whitey. Good luck and enjoy your shower.
Thank you, Red.